Good afternoon, everyone. I am Gospel Nyarvili, Class 9 from New Light School, Tipa, to present my project on the topic of preservation of Alocasia fornicata by sun-drying method under subtheme 3. Social and cultural practices for ecosystem and health. Introduction. Food drying is the method of food preservation in which food is dried, and it is the oldest method of preservation. Drying is the removal of liquid from a material usually consists of macromolecules matrix and is one of the most important and oldest unit operations used for thousands of years in a variety of materials. Drying prevents the growth and reproduction of microorganisms like bacteria, yeast, and molds, and minimizes many of the moisture-mediated deteriorative reaction. There are several methods of drying such as sun drying, solar drying, and mechanical drying. In this project, we will have a detailed study on Alocasia fornicata by sun-drying method. Alocasia fornicata is a plant species of many nerved, broad leaves, rhizomatous or tuberous perennials from the family Araceae. It characteristically grows 2 to 3 inches in height with a triangular white-shaped leaves and horizontally growing stolon. The plant's pedix is collected and cooked in Northeast Indian states of Mizoram, Manipur, and Tripura, where the plant is locally known as by being in Mizo. It is a much favored seasonal vegetable and is used as a remedy to lower and cure high blood pressure. Several folklores recount the methods of preserving food in one way or another in accordance with the local and cultural traditions. The idea was to prevent food from spoiling and help make it last longer while keeping it for consumption. Drying as a method of preservation has numerous advantages. Food becomes lightweight and easy to carry due to reduced water content in it. Dried food are tasty, nutritious, lightweight, easy to prepare, and easy to store and use. The energy input is less than what is needed to be freeze or canned, and the space is minimal compared with that needed for canning jars and freeze containers. The drying food is only minimally affected by drying. Sun-drying. Sun-drying is one method of preserving, which is used in abundance in various parts of the world even today. In times when there is no electricity or transport, sun-drying helps food preserve for longer till it can be taken to the market to be sold. Sun-drying is quite popular in Tipa town. Most people in Tipa have borne witness to their elders practicing natural sun-drying process. Foods are being sun-dried for the process of being converted into pickles, spices, or chips. Aims and objectives. The main aim of this project is to study and determine the drying process and its health benefits of Alocasia fornicata in regards to the traditional and cultural practices in Tipa and to find out its nutritional value. Our main objectives are to show the cultural practices of Alocasia fornicata in Tipa, to study the nutritional value of the spadix of Alocasia fornicata before and after drying, to study the medicinal value of the spadix of Alocasia fornicata, and to find out its economic impact and value. Hypothesis. Bibing can be preserved for consumption during off-season. It can be preserved by sun-drying method. This project will enable us to know its nutrient content both in its raw form and dried form. Advantages and disadvantages of sun-drying. Advantages are simple, safe, and easy. Low capital and operating cost, little expertise, convenience. Disadvantages are contamination, low and variable quality, large area of land, large number of laborers, structural changes, browning. Methodology. In this project, experimentation, data collection, and data analysis methods are adopted. An extensive study and explanation on Alocasia fornicata and its drying process were also done on the population through questionnaire. For drying process, the traditional method of sun-drying was used. The nutritional content of bibing in both its raw form and dried form were tested and compared with 3 different types of experiments. Ninhydrin test to detect protein, and Benedict test to detect carbohydrates, and emulsion test to detect oil or fats content. Data analysis. Data collected from the questionnaire are as follows. Consumption. 97.3% people among the participants consume bibing. 2.7% of participants do not consume bibing. Health benefits. Our data collected shows most people consume bibing for its antioxidant property and to prevent high blood pressure. Side effects. Difficulty in sleeping, itching, allergic reaction, and low blood pressure. Methods of consumption. Fermented bibing by A stew prepared out of an assortment of vegetables. Ingredient of seasoning. Drying process. For drying process, we collected 250 grams of the spadix of Alocasia fornicata, and we used the traditional method of sun drying. The traditional process of drying the spadix of Alocasia fornicata by being, firstly, we collected the edible part, the white fleshy portion of the spadix, and after that, we put them in the pot and pour a room temperature water enough to level up the bibeing. And we heat it on the flame and bring the water to boil. After the water starts boiling, we turn off the flame and strain the water. And it perfect to avoid overcooking. After straining, we place the bibeing in the winnowing tray, khangra, or any other drying rack. And finally, we place the bibeing under the sun for 3 to 4 days. On weighing, it was found that the weight had reduced by 235 grams and the 15 grams had turned into thin strands in appearance. This is evidently the result of loss of moisture in the vegetable. Scientific process. We studied and compared the nutritional content of bibeing in both its raw form and dried form in 3 different types of experiments. Ninhydrin test to detect protein, Benedict test to detect carbohydrates, and emulsion test to detect oil or fats content. Observation table. Nutritional value and its composition of Alocasia fornicata. Carbohydrates, protein, oil, and fats, fiber, and are present in both before and after drying. Conclusion. After the above experiments conducted and analysis done on questionnaire, we come to the conclusion that bibeing is a shrub and grows primarily in the wet tropical biome. Our ancestors used it as a source of food and medicine. It is usually preserved by sun-drying method. Since the drying process is make use of natural sunlight, there is no impact on our environment and it saves a lot of energy and time. It does not lose any nutritional value after sun drying, which is why this method of preservation is commonly used and is also a major form of preservation. Future plan and suggestion. It is clear from our studies that from time immemorial, that bibeing has been used as a vegetable by the Mizo community as part of its cultural practices and to prevent and cure hypertension. It has high nutritional value and has the potential to sustain itself in its dry state and given the varying weather conditions in different places. One setback we face is the lack of time and the lack of equipment to conduct further research. We find it difficult to carry out studies to add more value to the product. Given the high nutritional and medicinal value of bibeing, we feel that scientists and clinical research scholars should take up a serious study so that the value of bibeing is clearly understood and made freely available on larger population across the globe. Thank you.
Thank you, Gospel. Nice presentation.
Thank you, sir.
And nice, good project also. Did you bring any samples?
No.
No. It's a confusion, man. So, Tuipa mo.
Oh.
Takan chung ko sa in mo mang katiang kan titrin.
Chung ko za nilovin, hey, kum upalam le bipisang nei te kan ring upalam daw bibeing siya siyang daw tura kan ngay ang kan in zavela questionnaire ka kan sem.
Chú. Chuan atam sok chuan an lo ti thin.
An lo ei thin.
Thal he mai. Chuan ni le bibeing sim trip kha tuipa kha tamami.
Tam.
Tuipa kha tum ni ka ron ka to ka lo thelo ni chu. Ti da yang. Le alo mom khop mai. Chuan ni le ata chat ratio preservation kha imperial nge le. And the thing is that in a dry car.
Kakaju kanda chadana zarin a omrei thaya a chethaibok.
Chuan soi piate.
Hey, airtight angate kanda hi chuan rei tak kum khat kum hni vela da thaya ma se ta kanda to phi chuan a chethei.
Lo mo me. Chuan tunami kha in experiment in tatro. Casing sang enti. Kahan isoi lo tat kan kaya.
Zan hi somnga gram.
Gram zan hi somnga. Okay. Chuan Miss Khan lo backlog mai. Observation. Table akian mo. คิดลายเขียนว่า water content คือ235 gram คือมักกะติเด็กเล็กกันนี่ weight คือ250 gram มันนี่เสีย water content คือสังลุตุกตาใบบิงอะค่ะใช้เฟียดเฮดอนเนี่ยคือติลายตะกี้ water content ค่าสังกันเลยเต็มที่เขียนเงี้ยอมเสียเลย grams อันที่สมงา grams อันที่สมทุ่มปังอาตรอข้าก็ตุยนี่ water content นี่จนเงี้ยอมเสียคัดติลายขันใช้เฟียดแล้วคิดเห็นติงไอเตดัง grams สมปังอากับหมดเท่าไหร่ grams สมปังอาเจ้าที่อัตักใบบิงอัตักอัตโตไปหมดส่วนนี่ตาตรอคีgrams อันที่สมงาใบบิงgrams สมปังอาเจ้าไม่หมดส่วน
ให้ฮิจูให้กันเรบนัวเอาไว้
อันนี้อันนี้ชวนกระเทียมเท่าไหมสังเนี่ยไม่เอา water content จูตรอชวนอันนี้ชวน water ที่เราลุกตลอดที่นั่นนี่ตา dry นู่นชวนอะไรที่ไรตะค่ะกัน confuse เดี๋ยวเล็กก็เกี่ยมาครับtry อีท่าละก็คัน highway top NH54 ต่อไปแล้วกันพูดแล้วชัดตัวเนี่ยเฮ้ย sir ก็ยังรับหูเราไม่เท่มั้งเราว่าทะลุตัวโปรเจกต์
Thank you sir
gospel azang le mai ani chuanin Bible ro to keji khat kha thir keji khat ain azang do ni mo
giang don
ngồi rồi có phim thui man lâu các chú phim thui mấy i chọn thil đằng đây i hết tại hiện in thăng rai mang ta tro drying re cả hiện thăng rai hi ingat tingin man kher chan
thăng ra chu drying rek dang ain aliana chuan mawa siamani wangkhan a water content kha hip theizoka nin a hem khan a ro chak zok
nga chan he i thir te lo mang tao chan thir kan hi te khap te let na mase min man dan tla pi ni wang te pon pok nga tro chan hele 3 to 4 days ti hi nuam lo ko ti dau pok ni chu hey inject ta he under the sun for 3 to 4 days atia hey hi ni satana zir te ti na mi temperature te in te ver reng em mister
ai te kherlo ni sat that kha chuan a ro zung mai bai bi nga kha
thal tu kai mission sai tu ranga tu ka pe me
I
thank you
so preservation ai ma khan mo ke chuan ka lo notice chu mo preservation kha chu he traditional methods ani na line ti ta ma se in study khamo nutritional value kha ni ta nin hydrogen test tek in ti na kha khoya nge in ti nang mani la ba min ti in a facility in nei ti na min kha thareu ka ti class exam ni kha class 9 mo khami chu ani le an science practical ai han om shim ti na mi proteins test carbohydrates ani chuan engting in nei in ron le in van ti tha kha ai congress hey in miss fel na azar nyang kha jang test in hydrate hey it's a very very basic protein test very basic carbohydrate test ani ta mo chuan engeni khaminin hydrin kha kan man na chan a principle ti velte sham benedict's test why do we use benedict's test for carbohydrate ti vel khai sham ai shero kha because hey basic tests kha in ron mang kha tha ka tilut tu ka ni mo thil har salu tu kha ani lo bok nen le in ron ngai twa chwa kha tha ka ti chuan chu ta chuan ani ta preservation and nutrient analysis of ti ulang kadua on nutrient analysis kain tita so wang chuan of before and after te pokha ti thei don ta ni chumo before and after sun drying ang chi amo athui lu tok adon ni pon preservation and stan he semicolon its nutritional value ti rigon pokha ni alang moi vek don thau ni chumo good work. Thank you. You really have to thank her that you have learned those basic biochemical tests.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, in curriculum po lo leng ha ti pui chung nya so tanker hey so e at som ro che ta mem a phulu tu kan nya kha kha o angai lo so lu be la ti
Good afternoon to you all. I am Gitanjali studying class 6 representing St. Peter's Middle School Tingtip. The title of our project for today's 30th State Level Children's Science Congress is to study the effects of microplastics in soil ecosystem. Under the sub-theme 1, Know Your Ecosystem. Next slide, please. Introduction. Very little of the plastic we discard every day is recycled. Much of it ends up in landfills where it may take up to 1,000 years to decompose. Sewage is an important factor in the distribution of microplastics. Plastic particles contained in sewage sludge is often applied to fields as fertilizer. That is, several thousand tons of microplastics ends up in our soils each year. Next slide. The objectives of our project are: number 1, microplastics can change soil properties and affect plants. Number 2, microplastics could be a threat to plants. We did our project on the hypothesis that addition of microplastics to soil will change soil properties and it will decrease germination rate of seeds and growth of plants. And the material required for our project are: 4 identical pots, 4 plates, soil, pH paper, coriander seeds, polythene pieces, etc. The methodology of our project are: number 1, 4 identical pots were taken and they are marked as A, B, C, and D. Number 2, the pots are filled with soil of same type and same quantity. Number 3, polythene pieces of size 2 mm square and of mass 300 gram are added to pots C and D. And no polythene pieces are added to pots A and B. Next slide. Number 4, same quantity of water is poured slowly on each pot and quantities of water leached from the bottom of the pots are measured. Number 5, the soil moisture content on the pots are estimated after 50 days using gravimetric method. Number 6, coriander seeds of 10 each are sown in all of the pots. Number 7, the pH values for the soil in all the pots are estimated after 50 days using pH paper. Number 8, the growth pattern of the seeds with germination percent, plant height, number of leaves, and leaf area are studied. Number 9, the data are collected and drawn the inferences.
Hello.
Observation and data collection. Table 1. The first row shows the quantities of water collected from the bottom of the pots when same quantity of water is poured on them. In pots A and B, the quantities of water collected from the bottom of the pots are 100 ml each, whereas in pots C and D, the quantities of water collected from the bottom of the pots are 120 ml and 125 ml respectively. As the quantities of water collected from the bottom of the pots, which was added with microplastics, is greater, it shows that addition of microplastics to soil decreases soil's ability to hold water. The second row shows the moisture content of the soil, which is calculated by using gravimetric method. Using the formula, soil moisture equal to weight of fresh soil minus weight of dry soil divided by weight of dry soil. So, 200 gram of fresh soil is taken from pot A, and when it is dried using oven, it becomes 160 gram. So, when it is subtracted and divided by 160, it becomes 40 by 160 equal to 0.25 equal to 25%. Similarly, the moisture content in other pots are calculated and are found to be 25%, 18%, and 18% respectively. As the moisture content in the pots which was added with microplastics is lesser, it shows that addition of microplastics to soil decreases the moisture content of the soil. Next slide. Observation and data collection. Table 2.
The first row shows the pH of soils. In pots A and B, the pH of soils are found to be neutral, whereas in pots C and D, the pH of soils are found to be alkaline. It shows that addition of microplastics to soil increases the pH value of the soil. The second row shows the number of seeds germinated out of 10 seeds. In pots A and B, the number of seeds germinated are 9 each, whereas in pots C and D, the number of seeds germinated are 8 each. It shows that addition of microplastics to soil decreases the germination rate of seeds. The third row shows the height of plants after 50 days. In pots A and B, the height of plants are found to be 20 cm each, whereas in pots C and D, the height of plants are found to be 17.5 cm each. It shows that addition of microplastics to soil decreases the height of plants. The last row shows the average length and width of leaves. In pots A and B, the average length and width of leaves are 2.4 cm by 1.8 cm each, whereas in pots C and D, the average length and width of leaves are 2.1 cm by 1.6 cm each. It shows that addition of microplastics to soil decreases the area of leaves. Result: from the above observations, it is clear that addition of microplastics to soil has large impact in soil and plants growth. It decreases water holding capacity, moisture content, rate of germination, plants' height and area of leaves, but it increases the pH of soil. Here are some ways to solve the problem. Number 1. Stop or reduce single-use plastic and recycle it. Number 2. Buy clothes made from natural materials. Number 3. Wear and tear from tires add microplastic pollution to environment. So public transportation must be used. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Can you please go back to the last slide? Here you mentioned that the heights of the plants after 50 days are 27.5 and 7.5 centimeter.
Yes.
So how did you do the measurement? Or what I'm trying to ask is do you pull with the whole,
No.
how do you do the measurement?
We use the scale. We put it inside the scale. We put it inside the pots and measure it.
Okay. And one more, one quick comment, not questions. So if I were you, I would add another 4 or 5 pots. Because if you check carefully, the number of seeds that gets germinated out of 10 seeds are only 9 and 8. And 9 and 8, they are very close numbers.
Yes.
And it's very difficult to get some inferences with just these 4 numbers. So if I were you, or if this gets selected for national level, I would repeat some of the experiment and add another maybe 3 times the number of these pots, meaning 12 pots.
Yes.
Let's say 18 pots, so that it would be you will get a better result. Basically, you are going to generalize things from here on. Do you understand, Mizo?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
Oh, Gitanjali, it's a very good project. So from where you get microplastic?
Microplastic is plastic which are less than 5 mm square.
No, that's for your experiment where you get that microplastic. Kaya tangay mo microplastic ko ka?
We just make it
Made it from where?
polythene.
Polythene. In Chepami. So na ay tiyan vek a size mo microplastic. Kaka i microplastic chumo je chop lo khana chau thei ta ne tire motor ke tayar hi setro hi ta te hin noi hi tam mai te hi microplastic chu achunga te khan en lamo i motor tayar chung hi an motor ke om lo ni chu achunga khan noi kha om thin ni kha tiang kha microplastic chu ni ta ka tiang te mong tau la atang mo ti ka lo ngai tua chuan what about pH of soil neutral alkaline interngota what is the value enge value takka
Neutral is 7 and alkaline is like 13, 14 like that.
nothing chu chin da lo paper mo
Yes. Color.
soil la khana lang thei
No, we put the soil in a glass and we pour water and we drain the water and we do it.
a pH value dikhai lawa ilo mo chu tak chu ne mo pH ki an kong ro chu do na mo chuan moisture content kha chu ani thenga a plastic microplastic kha in man sat kha chin ang ve kang tro microplastic in tel khan I pot C le pot D a kene ka ti microplastic kha in man dan in ang che tro chuan A le B kin mang lo ta tro chuan khatlaya ta khane mo pot C and D a khan ingzat vel ngin tel in vur khat vek he ingzat vel nge khatlai kha in pol ka isai thengem
Can you say the question again?
pot how much amount you put the microplastic to pot C and pot D
150 gram.
100
50.
atamani mo chuan dania ni ta tro dania ki nisom ni 20 days right nisom ni chungi na fa thang chak ve ti ka kalo ngai tua
Not 20, 50.
oh 50 days mo chuan ni le mo khati lai khan in dana ki chum mun kai ang rek tro A to D ki apply chen ang rek tro temperature very entertain the va an ni thei tho mai chuan chu kimi pH ki min ti buai ta ni chu ke chu mo chuan sarkre sa swang deuh khan comparison ti nan chuan atlem fret in the share tin a soil kha mun khatamin la kan yem. What about the soil? From where you taken the soil?
From our garden.
Same garden.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good.
Thank you.
My name is P.C.L. Ramsiami, representing Buban RMSS Secondary School. Our topic is Study on Generation of Plastic Waste and Its Management in Rural Area. Under the sub-theme number 4, Ecosystem-based approach for several lines. Objective hi pathum kanneya amasibra chuan ni khata plastic hi bolo ingzan nge kampai kum khata boban hiam bolo plastic ingzan nge kampaya heng kam bolo pai te hi engtiangin nge kan ti kya manga kan man chang kai tiang ti ti ani kan project hi kan bobang khwa ni ni in Saitwa district ka omin aizola chang hian kilometer zale pakwa hla ni in mishing hi zasari le som pathum kan cheng mek bok ani. Study design. He gambolo la khom te hi chung ko enable danin ang law palia changalak ni in kai khin thenan hian pahni chau je structure inang kan la a dor pahni kan la tel bok ani. Segregation method. Bolo manno le theitua kan thla shan dan te chu bolo kan la khom chung tina changa kan la khom achang te khan kan thil ena kor te le kan thil e tu kan khai hona na kan man plastic name jok te ha kan la khoma chu ba ka chuan plastic bu le plastic hlom lian te kha chu kan da sang thung ani. Process of recycling. Bolo kan recycle tura kan song bol dan te chu thala ka chang hian en te la bolo hi skula la khom chinin kan thla kan du kan lak tu te kha kan thia shanga kan buka chumhinwa chuanin kan sufaya ni sa kan phawro le a kan phawro sa te chu piang hian atlang siam lai le ararem lo lai te kha chep thla kan chep thla a chu chu tracing paper kara plastic te chu da in kan nota chui bai ngai lo khanin allow in chara heta kan che thak tak te kha pai mai lawin mannon le na om ta ka ti in simte te in kan chep khoma ti chuanin lukham hnu parnan kan mangta ani graph 1 hi entaila graph 1 na kan en tur chu chungkwa member kan tam hian ni khata kan bol hlo pai hi atamem ti ha kan en donanga single ten an le couple without children ti hi chu member omzat ein anawangin soingai lo mai sela ti chuan nuclear family chungkwa indang to kan ti te kha an ni a family number 1 a hian chungka member pasari omino pang hi panga an oma ti chuanin family number 2 chungka member pali omino pang panhi an om ve thunga member tamna jok family 1 hian ni khata bol hlo po hi apai hnem jok bok ani joint family chungkwa ahu hawa om tu le fatin in la cheng haute kha an ni a ti chuanin member hi anin thalo em a f1 a hanin member som pakhat omin f2 member som an om ve thunga member som pakhat omna hian bol hlo po hi ni khata am pai hnem jok boka ti chuanin graph 1 na changa kan hmu thei tak chu member tamna le mishing cheng tamna apianga kan ni khat bol hlo pai po hi atameni ti graph 1 na chang hian kan hmu thei ani ti chang graph chu hi en le taila thakata sum kan lak lu hnem hian kan bol hlo pai hi atam rengem ti chungko in rebel danin angle member in za ati khan kan en le anga shop door pani hi kanun khai khena s1 a hanin s2 han door tu nga jok le alai li de uzoka thakata hian cheng sang thum a hlo a s1 hanin s1 hi door tu hi anga lutuk lawa hongpo hian hong regular lo zoka thakata han cheng sang ni a hlo ve thunga ti chuan s1 a in s2 han thakata bol hlo hi gram nga in anga zok ani nuclear family f1 han thakata cheng sing ni sang ruk hlo in f2 thakata cheng sang nga a hlo nem jok f1 han bol hlo hi thakata gram li in f2 a hian anga zok boka ti chuan couple without children le single tenant te hi ama kan soi tu ang khanin member omzat in angan ni ma se f1 ti hanin sarkar na thok ni in thakata am poisa lak lu hi atama ti chuanin thakata am bol hlo pai po hi atam jok bok ani joint family member hi in thalo le mani sela f1 han thakata cheng sing kha sangli lu in f3 thakata cheng sanga a hlo nem jok le member tamna jok f1 han bol hlo hi thakata gram nga in anga jok ani chuan graph chu achanga kan hmu thei tak chu mishing cheng tamna le thakata sum kan lak lu hnem hian kan bol hlo pai po hi atamani ti kha kan hmu thei ta ani he kan ji chiana achanga kan hmu tak chu kum khata ni khata mi pakhat hian bol hlo hi 2.78 gram pain kum khata hian kg khat ve zel pai ang kan ni a bubang khwa hian kum khata bol hlo hi kg jasari som thum pahni kam pai ani ti kan hmu thei boka heng bol hlo kan pai tak zinga kan recycle thei te hi kan bol hlo pai hnem be ani a kum khata kan bol hlo pai kg jasari som thum pahni achang khan kg zaruk le som paruk lai me hi recycle thei ani a chungte chu kan man non le chuan kg za le pasari cha bol hlo tlan ting hi alo ni to don ani atop nan chuanin heng kan bol hlo pai te han kan tui tlan te kan shi sel na te le kan ram le lung hi ala ti chhelu tuk lo ni in kan sha ni ma selangin kan bol hlo pai han in mishing kan bol hlo pai mu dan mu mal lo han mishing ten mi pui ten hena hanin hong ani na sa zia hi in shi sha ni sela ti chuan heng kan bol hlo pai achanga kan mo kan lak the lo lamata na changkai ni boxi heng silpolin tham khu nan aya mantele khul hiap atana mante ti chuan lukham ramaria me tu siam nan te hian achangkaya ti chuan kan ram le lung hi kan dim doi me ba ka kan mo kan phu shudon boka ti chuan he recycle hi bu bang khwa hian ni ale ni lawa he kan voi khat ne na ani ti jong hi foina kan represent the te zon ni kan lo me
in zirkha athare ule me imo hey lai hian your topic is study on the generation of plastic waste and its management in rural areas ti khan itani an generation a khan family income le member tamzat at zirkhan in zirkhan itamo til gender le kum mo an kum dan kha tel ta ula socio demographic study ani dona chithya mem chu akum le gender chu kha in bel khan chuan a socio demography study on plastic waste and its management in Buban Is it alright? In rural area nilo, in Buban, in Zerna Buban ni tani, ahar sangem kumle. An mani kumakan internan ka tunakan data kin ron ti chalut tukta ni chu kalau uy ni chu mo. An mani internan chu kum mei chia hian atlang pui thu in eng mo ni neu hi kan lo nga ta addition of garbage hian mei chia hian we are one big factor anita ni mi pa ain khang te po khan contribution anei theng empty te mo tin no pang khatuna plastic wrap in ron da ta cheu ta ni khang lace te ka mu a khang khano pang wang an ni theng empty po kha chu result te in ron nei khan it becomes one really good legit study ni ta ni chu mo kha khang te po kha innovative lutuk in til kha silpolin ron siam chwa te kha chuan Google atanga DIY ti vela in en atanga in ti anem ka zo to cheu ani lo chuan chu tak chu ni ta mo he kudan beng dur na tur khan vele ta ni chu a thalut to kanya chuan chu soile soinu i chung ko member a mei chia an lo tam deuh lek khan khang chung ko member tam zinga po khan mei che tam le mei che tam lo na kha he in chung ko wazira tho te khan walak belle lok ula han analyze chale ulamo kha po kha aron tel thei don ta chuan kum no pangin leisten lo e nem deuh ta puitling chuan chu ti te cha min kan lo ngai na lo ta ni khami age factor khan kha plastic waste kha ati tamem ti kha buban nangmani buban khwa a khan ani em khang factors kha ani telve em ti lo ni se mo chuan chu ani chuan hey national level a po chuan omlu tok tur khan ni don ni chumo so all the socio demographic factors achan chu income in ti tho bok sia shethamem khawang khan I achadon riau in kan siani chu kan lo tel ni ro se
Miss Kakambel, so kanga Remsemi Miss Rutimi. Atu pui le jingaria alomom kop me Miss Ruti pop fakom, ang poi fakom. Chuan tu na mi kha ni aron soi tong kha tu na in product chua ta kha entinan I etlai chona le ma hian midang chona aron mudon lo ta hetlai chuan kan hmuwa thlam chunga tan an hman ti te hi a tha ka ti khop mai te tiang hi mo I tunami thupui faculty ma po hin a tel thei thowa a masa nen pe ka chuan science congress masa kan thim nen pe ka chuan waste management lampang kha tama wangin ani le zola tuna po a tel thei thowa alom ka ti tiang in ron ti chuak kha a tha ka ti a chuan khami entinan kalabel nakina chuan entinan local zel theta ngol chuan chumi I bolho chumi za ta trang chuan I nge khami phe ka kha chumi za chu kan siam thei tiang chi mo lukham chumi za chumi ti chu tiang a lian chu kan siam chok thei chumi we sa trang chuan chumi za mang chuan tiang chi ka mo na tel le thei ta se chuan a solid motin ka ringa ai po chu ni se a tha project thata kani
Thank you, sir.
Kan lo comment về lốc I ắt trả cái tiết chân chú bol hi a vei lúc tu kan ni chu Mizoram a hian ai zo poni to thingtlang poni to veng kho fai deuh te po hi han enila bol lo om nei an son ringot ani likor engmo khama te an paya ti hian chu tengkar a he tiang in ti hi alo om ko te ka kho kan kho pui in som sari vele kan ya hemi etiang waste management hi thar tho hi kan tum thina thil tam tai chon ka thu hi an zom thave ang reng thina amar chu bol lo takianin du ain kan thu tlang lo ang renga I karil ruwa lo oma chu hemi zong kar a hian helaya miss ruthi na ken po hi bol lo la ni to na ni chu bol lo la ni to na ni mo rem ro ti tro bol lo la ni to na hei eng tin nge in tiang eng tia ti tur nge niang ti lai ta kha atham enga tan pon mang maula bol lo la ni to tho ni chu a chan chu nan bai degradable ania chu tiang chu in ru om ve hrim se in project chunga po om lo mai thea tiếng te chu in khua chun phang ei to tau la hal te thame engem bol lo ni huna ti te tiang chimney te nei tau la ni lapon in tinin enge helaya I enga mo hal na nei ta se biodegradable non biodegradable hey 5% te ti te chong ti vel ti chu a troi ral thi ni chu khoi apo pe se al ha dam tha ka ni chu ma se mama ai na kor ti vel ti chu chatuan dei tur tau hian ni vetlat me ni chu wang chon khang lai ve la kha in ti ta sa bu ban khua chonin enga mo va revolutionize te uti ka karil ro lang tel kan tel ver sim chu tin e ti hi kan ti chana ni chu mo science congress ta impact ka hi an lom tu a lom o me
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Respected Chairman, learned judges, and my dear friends. This is Evake Valenshoyi, team leader of Team Don Bosco, and my team member is Eslin MC Dintari. We are both representing Don Bosco School Longklai. On today's 30th edition Children's Science Congress 2022, we have a project titled Ecosystem-Based Approach, a case study for local sustainability in Longklai, Mizoram, and under the sub-theme, number 4, Ecosystem-Based Approach, EBA for Self-Reliance, and under the focal theme, Understanding Ecosystem for Health and Well-Being. Moving to the introduction part. Understanding ecosystem for health and well-being, we can focus on these 5 main perceptions. Ecosystem. Number 2, health and well-being. Number 3, ecosystem-based approach. Number 4, self-reliance. And number 5, sustainability. First, let's talk about ecosystem. Ecosystem is a close, integrated organization of all living components with their non-living physical components. Ecosystem components is of 2 types, living components and non-living components. Living components comprises of animals, plants, and microorganisms, and non-living components comprises of lands, water, air, temperature, and rainfall. When we say organization of these components, it is of a particular place or area. It is also concerned of their interaction, interdependence, and sustenance of the relationship. Ecosystem have 2 types, terrestrial ecosystem and aquatic ecosystem. Terrestrial ecosystem comprises of forests, agriculture, grassland, hill and mountain, desert, iceland and island. And under the aquatic ecosystem, we have pond, lake, river, wetland, estuaries, coastal and marine. An ecosystem can be as large as an ocean or can be as small as a local pond. The term ecosystem was coined by an English biologist, A.G. Tinsley, in the year 1935. Number 2, health and well-being. Health. According to World Health Organization, WHO, health is a complete state of physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely absence of diseases or infirmity. Physical health means the structure of the body and its normal functioning. Mental health implies a state of harmony between an individual and its surrounding world. Social health is having good position in the society with a good job, a good dwelling, a happy family, and an understanding friends. Conditions necessary for being healthy are proper nutrition, good hygiene, exercises and relaxation, good economic condition, and decent job. Number 3, ecosystem-based approach. Ecosystem-based approach, EBA, is a strategy for integrated management of land, water, air, and living resources that promotes conservation and sustainable use in equitable way. It aims to restore and strengthen the self-sustaining capacity of human-natural relationship. Since 1995, the approach has been applied as a primary framework and tools for action under United Nations. Number 4, self-reliance. Relying on one's own power, ability, potential, and resources rather than those of others. Having confidence and trust in oneself is considered as self-reliance. 4 steps to be self-reliant are: assume responsibility, be informed, knows own position, and makes own decision. It is inevitable that when one goes for self-reliance, its impact on the environment also be understood. Adopt a method where no or minimal damage is done to nature. Number 5, sustainability. Sustainability is the key challenge for humanity in the 21st century. Sustainable ecosystem is the association which is able to meet the needs of the present population and still able to maintain its productivity without its outside assistance is considered as sustainability. Human being is the main instrument to break and violate the intrinsic and mutual balance of the environment, causing suffering to all stakeholders. Aims and objectives. To identify area where we can apply effectively to sustain self-reliance. To identify land usage policy of the area of study. To check rainfall pattern, temperature and climatic condition of area of study. To identify agricultural and other products for food security. To check local administrations, initiatives and involvement of communities. To identify the disposal and dumping system of non-biodegradable waste. Hypothesis and methodology. Hypothesis. Actions of human beings are directly related to cause of degradation of ecosystem. Global climate change is the result of indiscriminate cutting down of trees and exploitation of forests, releasing of carbon dioxide from industries and factories. Present environmental issues are consequences of injudicious and indiscriminate actions of humans in the past. Methodology. To study all data collected, analyze and derive a concluding inference. Introduction of area of study. Place of study. Longtlai, under LADC, Mizoram. Geographical location. Longitude 92.75 degree east and latitude 22.37 degree west. Annual rainfall 2,558 mm, mainly from May to September. Temperature 8 degrees Celsius to 24 degrees Celsius in winter, and in summer 18 degrees Celsius to 34 degrees Celsius. Landscape, hilly terrain. Forest coverage, dense forest 0 km square, medium forest 705 km square, and low forest 1,632 km square. Land use policy, settlement, forest, barren, cropland and farmland. Types of soil, clay, sand, and loamy. This bar chart shows the annual mean temperature in degrees Celsius of Longtlai throughout the year. The dark blue shows the minimum temperature, the light blue shows the maximum temperature, and the light green shows the mean temperature. And this table shows the annual rainfall in millimeter for the last 10 years of Longtlai. Solution to the problem. Afforestation. Regular afforestation program throughout the season. Mining and quarrying should be restricted. Tree plantation program should be included in the school curriculum. Ecosystem laws. Make rules, regulation and laws to protect and preserve ecosystem. Wildlife protection. Protection of wildlife, animals, plants and other species. Waste disposable. Non-biodegradable waste should be properly disposed. Result and conclusion. Reduction of forest areas due to deforestation. Insufficient agricultural products. Natural resources are vulnerable and limited. Ecosystem-based approach, EBA, is a better tool for self-sustaining. Stakeholder participation is seen to be integral for the improvement of our ecosystem. That's all. Thank you.
Your project is quite. Which class are you in?
Class 9.
Class 9 na. One i project nasakop may i Longtlai pumpuy ang izir ang na. Can you understand Mizo?
Yes.
Or should I speak in English?
You can also say in Mizo.
Okay. There was Antinan, ecosystem-based approach. Iti he more han soi fia don te Mizo chungin.
Ecosystem-based approach di so hemi hanin machine te society ti me la to me hey forest ecosystem hian negative impact ani society laka he veng him thei ti meyang le ecosystem well
All right, all right.
Turin.
I will ask you another hi-fi term that you have used. Stakeholder. Who are those?
Stakeholder this one hey me to po hey interest ne hey tuina big vanei ti va tui big hey vazir chiang pe mi ti
Azir chang pe mi tur chu nang ma inita. Stakeholder kha chu hey hetilaya forest heng ang ho I lo ti char char ang ho mo khang ang ho va soina de kha anita ni. Chuan ka sha tak ka mu chwa iron soya changa ka mu chwa ve zong chu ka lo zir ve zong chu long tlai hi van lo lu mo em
alum
oh
Solution to the problem I hear more. Quarrying should be restricted. It quarry he atangin inge kan mu.
Ring chang this one
Lung ane atero.
Oh.
Lung tero ra te kan be mo.
te me hol po te thawang
Me hol so de lo. Ka so thui set. Delete ani jo ka so mo me hol ka so. Quarry he a restrict mo thelo ne mo. Asan su restrict ta se entinge rorai ne yang mo entinge lungin remang long time boy vek don sin
restrict chang po lang kha ka soi tong khan adopt a method where no or minimal damage is done to nature
yeah or chalu to ka solution to the problem sa hian ka teng khai zia wang khan kan notice de uleka chuan nang mani environment tunami iron ti kha acha khop meya chuan ma second soi du chu introduction le a cheve la khai tham rei du ko mo a zir na lai taka kham ithil zir lai te project ka ta khain lu thar ta ni chu I data khat lem pha ta rem boka forest cover hi long tlaya insan nge nei le
total
forest coverage in long tlai your observation lian ber khani mo 2000 a chon 2370 mha kan ta mo mega hectare chuan hemi a hian 2000 ani chu hemi ai thar data don ni
approximately kha chun ja
2000 in 2000 dei ni ta tuna 2022 ni to sia chu data kha upgrade ta la han job ta la an nei om se ka te ni chu chuan tunai zir dan chi hi all some do zir dan chu mo Google art train Google art an chomalam pang poka ka soi to time lapse ila nga mo midang ngai that pon kum le da nga pon ti theitan nang mani pon school pon ti de thena Google art tang han time lapse tang khan in la nga chuan environmental impact mi ecosystem chung chang I chu a chiang beramei chuan ngo thia dan te nge ngo tlem so dan te pokha lang vek don ani chu ni ta sela chuan tunami data I project bi ka hi chuan athar lam lu tuk lo ka tina ni chu beramei mo follow up hi nei tur ania point te po hi pek na turoma nge what will be your follow up plan
ka plan ang ka du dan
nge
izona khat
for future plan ani chu
ka du dan pik tak chuanin thing upato ti meyang he kong siam te kong te an lai hian thing upato I abik han ka ui china chumi chu thei sham chuan kat lo sham thing hi chu chen chu an phun bel ngei china ma se enkol tu hi anom lo chuan thing chen khat hi chu dam rei thei tak tak lo
conserve mo conserve
a thei sham chuan bol ho pe hi film khur sham shamila
okay good athalu to ke tunami isai panina bol ho pai kha บอลเขาไปขับฟิล์มคุณเรานี่ตรอลงทายชวนกอรตุงอาแต่พอคันเอาในหน่วยทีนั่นนี่โอเค good
Thank you, sir.
China asoi thing phun kha đâu tùy nhị về lóc tiền Mizoram hen thing hi kan phun nó sắc khóc maya kan en kol lowa hi Mizoram te chu hey tropical rainforest kan yan thing chu a trâu don thâu ni chu mo cho ai chọn kang la ka ven te kan phun sa en kol te phun thing phun hi chu awareness tan hin tha ni me mi thin dunga tho ti nan Mizoram chu tin chu pa hei ram sa te sawa te tlem tu la thing variety kha ram ngwa po hei atam thei lo ni chin thia bem a the dar tu tur khan tlem ta chu tiang wang kan phun ani chon thu fran ania ni china I soi la ta kha ru roin a na sa ve thei to kan lo tu nia chon hemi rainfall hi engin nge ite engi a unit om mi lo hi kala u boy khop me
Tệ cấn lạc đàn mô.
ai ni lavin a unit enge entinan iri jong chu kg ni ta centimeter nge millimeter zo
Millimeter.
millimeter mo
Millimeter.
ai o hey a unit thi om lo a unit thi ngai nge kha in lo englo to ni athal tu
Isak lor pian phila hemi zo Isak zo hian lor hriat pui Isak lor pian phila hi government middle school to Khozol chuan next lor hriat pui St Peter's Higher Secondary School chingchip kan lowin ring le sela chumi zo chun lal nun pui Saint Francis of Assisi.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Isakal Pianfila, class 6, and my co-worker is Laring Kimat, class 8, and our guide teacher is Miss Rebecca Masomtluangi. And the title of our project is Prevalence of Plasmodium falciparum and Plasmodium vivax, which is under sub-theme 2, Fostering Health, Nutrition, and Well-being. Now for the first one, here is the aims and objectives of our project work. To find out the relation between ecosystem and PF and PV. To find out the approximate cases of PF and PV in Khozol through District Hospital and ASHA. To find out the probable cause of PF and PV in Khozol within the last 5 years. To control and eliminate malaria transmission. To study the blood film of PF and PV. Now let's move on to hypotheses. Plasmodium is the cause of malaria. If Plasmodium is the cause of malaria, then all persons ill with malaria should have Plasmodium in their blood. Malaria and ecosystem have great correlation. Malaria and marshy areas have some relation. Drinking of water of marshes does not cause malaria. Now let's talk about need statement and relevance. Malaria is a serious and sometimes fatal disease caused by female Anopheles mosquitoes which feeds on humans. It can take just one bite to get it. Malaria takes its toll not only in life loss but also in medical costs. Malaria causes great disruption in the ecosystem. Heavy use of DDT spraying. Drug resistance growing. People who get malaria are typically very sick with high fever, shaking chills, and flu-like illness. Now here is the methodology. Number 1 is methods. Survey methods and practical methods were used in our project. And here is the requirements: microscope, glass slide, blood sample, Leishman stain, and survey slip. Here is the procedure. Survey slips were given to 9 different workers of ASHA. Cases of District Hospital Khozol was asked through conversation. Case study of PF and PV was performed through questionnaires. Total cases and positive cases of PF and PV for the last 5 years, as well as the probable cause of positive cases. Positive slide of PF and PV were observed by compound microscope under 100x magnification where oil immersion lens was utilized. Probable cause of positive cases were also asked to each of the ASHA workers. Now here is the list of tables and the name of the locality are given. The year is from 2018 to 2022 up to July. Total tests performed are 7,393 and PV positive cases are 4 and PF positive cases are 11. Now let us proceed through analysis and interpretation. In our project study, we are focusing only the cases of district hospital and ASHA of different localities within Kozol. Questionnaires about malarial parasites. What is their total cases? How many positive cases were seen for the last 5 years? That is from 2018 to 2022 up to July. The questionnaires also includes what test kit they were using, as well as the probable cause of the positive cases. In our project study, we have found out that malaria has not been eradicated but not epidemics. Positive slide of PF and PV were observed by compound microscope under 100x magnification. Drinking marshy water did not affect a person. Here in our project study, we have found out the result, and here are the results. PF and PV has not been eradicated but not epidemics. Rapid diagnostic test RDT was commonly used method, whereas slide method was performed for confirmation. Out of 7,393 total cases that were examined, positive case of PF was 11 and positive case of PV was 4. According to ASHA workers, positive cases could be probably due to sleeping under untreated nets, exploring the forest frequently. As DDT, heavy use of DDT can cause great disruption in the ecosystem, as DDT did not only destroy mosquitoes but also toxic to birds when eaten, highly toxic to aquatic animals. Human symptoms can include vomiting, tremors, and seizures. Studies show that DDT have effect on the liver and reproduction. DDT is also considered a possible human carcinogen. Here is the solution to the problem. One should use insecticides, treat nets, and avoid exploring the forest frequently as far as possible. And removing stagnant water around the resident areas would also be helpful. As DDT spraying is performed for controlling the widespread of malaria, it has effect in the ecosystem as it kills many other insecticides. Also, drug resistance is growing in malarial patients, so one has to take awareness. Now for the last one, here is the conclusion and suggestion. Malaria is an obstacle as it kills people unnecessarily. Immediate and correct treatment should be given. But one should know that the disease is preventable and curable. Climate change will increase the number of people suffering from the disease. Thank you.
Isaac,
Yes,
should I speak in English or in Mizo?
Mizo, please.
Isoi kha dikcha khozola chuan epidemic ani lo ti kha because you have very very low cases anitani mase ka zo do che so he I hypothesis khan malaria and ecosystem have a great correlation ti hemo correlation kan ti han statistical term kan soi de wangin in hypothesis he correlation iti don chuan entirnan mo malaria kha apf kha hanzir turin case in nei lo ta engoro khong chung jong song ma in enga tinge malaria kha in than disease shima khan
Miss Lanania Kashavelo, what a katu.
All in the kina miss Lazodonia or Miss Khan malaria low interest well ponit heitani. Juan malaria and marshy areas have some relation to isoya hypothesis. Drinking of water of marshes does not cause malaria tika anitani. Heng hypothesis he improve Juan it is a very good study anidontani more or else you can change your hypothesis to your results. Shetam tro chu kan zawaya ta na soi hi ka du shim kan hypothesis hi kan conclude na tura ni thina ni more whether or not we have proved our hypothesis right or wrong hi atel nge to conclusion a chuan pakhat le nichina RDT kha isoi ta tro RDT kha enge ni kha lampum
Rapid diagnostic test.
Chuan kha Kamizwa kan enge ni kha confirmatory ti kha
Slide method.
chuta chuan eng stain nge in man kha
Leishman state.
very good which class are you in
Class 6.
oh very good kang ang te internal leishman stain kha enge what does it stain enge amu tir ti ang chi ang te khamo ishiat bel chuan you are going beyond your syllabus tro pol ko zirlaya I can't claim in iron shat beldonani to that I congratulate your teacher. Now imo khozola khian malaria atlem na chan riau hi ka sha idu indu chan nagina min la zo chang don nya oh
oh Isaac mo ifel le mai
Thank you.
I presentation kan I thiam chiang I chiang ti kha hriata chuan case study table a kha mo han ti le mai hei sar khrisa pula chang lo soya mo I khozola ro chuan district hospital ki la berani ka ti adi ka em
Oh.
chu ne ka kan zo tu da chan chu mo district hospital ti ki name of locality a kian da san lovina san pain da ta la mo ti hi chuan a hlom ber tak tak tro
Oh.
hospital kha I kimia kian hospital a kian khodang kha an ninge nga tro
Oh.
district hospital a te kha khoi muna khoi veng khoi khuami nge ti khan zot la chuan a chungami data ki dang mai thei iringem
Oh.
oh tunai dadan ke chuan hospital ki hlom berani mis ritai na ron sir vut meang ki tian ni chuan mo ani malaria pi ne mo azot tam du lo me chani ka ole kalo me
Thank you.
Sukdei su. Ichuk du to mi. Hey, asa titu nena intla ka in iwal lim lo mel ve nga tinge.
Katum về với mi sa.
Ole alom o mai I ti chal tu ke.
Thank you.
Good afternoon to you all. My name is Leshat Pui of class 12 and my partner is Larindika of class 9. We represent St. Peter's Higher Secondary School, Tingtip. The name of the project is Soil Health Test with Rice Bran in Bukangkon Village. The focal theme is Understanding Ecosystem for Health and Well-being. Under the sub-theme, Ecosystem-Based Approach for Self-Reliance. Let us begin with the background of the project. The common method used for farming in Mizoram is shifting cultivation, commonly known as jooming. This method is an old-age primitive method and becomes less sustainable due to the shortened cultivation cycle owing to population pressure. So, although the government of Mizoram in 2010 has initiated a new land use policy (NLUP) to tackle the joom problems, farmers are still practicing the same old method. So until today, once the cultivation has done, the soil of the cultivated land is risky to reuse it because of the acidity level increase. As you can see from this table, the growth of the soil which is suitable for the plants is range from 5.5 to 8. So, in the present study, we are going to employ a simple technique to test the health of the soil, so as to ensure where to grow the crops for the farmers. In this work, we are going to do it in a particular farm in Bukangkon village, which is a small village in Mizoram, 23 kilometers to the north of the district headquarters of Sertsip. Based on the result obtained, we are going to see whether the soil is suitable for the plants. Next slide, please. Now, the observatives. To study the farming method employed in Bukangkon village. To determine a simple and cost-effective method to test the soil health. The materials required are rice bran, steel bowl, water sprayer, shovel, and measuring tape. Hypothesis. If the rice bran is concerned, if the rice bran in concern is decomposed by the fungi, then the soil is healthy. Let us move on to the methodology. Principle. In this project, we use rice bran as the source of organic matter to test the microbial content of a particular soil. Rice bran, it is the byproduct of rice milling, contains about 10% of rough rice. It contains sterols, fatty acids, minerals, and vitamins. All over the world, more than 63 million tons of rice bran is produced each year. Now, if the soil and the rice bran is mixed, then the organic matter present in them is decomposed by soil microorganisms, especially the fungi. The fungi plays an important role for the health of the soil. As you can see, this is me with the paddy field. And next slide, please. Experimentation. We take 1 kg of rice bran in a container. 20 ml of water is sprayed on the rice bran and mix well with our own hands to make a rice bran paste, which is about 60% wet. We dig the soil like a pit of 1 cubic foot of the soil. The pit is filled with the rice bran paste, which we made in step 1, which covers 70% of the available volume of the pit. We cover the pit with a garden soil. The whole thing is kept for observation for 10 days. On the 11th day, we opened the pit and cautiously removed the rice bran. It is further analyzed to see any microbial decomposition. The above process has been done on different places. Observation. The first experiment was done on 13th of September, 11 a.m., which takes place in Jonathan Leram-Swana's farm. And we observed it after 11 days, which is 24th of September, 12:30 p.m. And we observed that the rice bran started decompose with white fungal patches. Likewise, we did the second experiment on comprehensive school ground, and we observed that the rice bran is not decomposed well. Result and discussion. The most common farming method practiced in Bukangkon village has been found to be shifting cultivation. Technique for soil testing health of the soil rice bran, which indicates the decomposed rice bran of Jonathan Leram-Swana's farm, shows that the soil is healthy as there are white patches on the rice bran. And the non-decomposed soil in the school garden shows that the soil is not healthy as there are no white patches on the rice bran. Thus, we can see that our hypothesis holds true with regards to the observation. In the future, the farmers of the village could be mobilized to use this simple method to test the health of the soil using easily available rice bran. This will help them where to grow their crops' productivity in the future. Thank you.
A good project, Shepui.
Thank you, sir.
A nice presentation. So that your project is very wonderful. But the experiment can pani che kanitia pakat bebe. Kat why to not claim draw.
Oh, anh lâu cắn tí điệu chút tờ vàng khăn mồ. Kaka board exam te kaka ni sia chanin Jonathan's farm kha ke mani hwana ni amo chanin atitu kha athala ka ron lang di mi ti saklo
mei chia kha
a mei chia kha kanu nia chanin kan ti na hi ke mani kom thang kha nia mo chu shifting cultivation a kan man nu thau chu ni chu chan het kan chung kwa kan ti deu ni chu chan hei ka unau pa ni boka
follow mom ve unawin inon tel thaya lo mom khop ne chuan kha chu time limit bang an tina ni ta chuan khami kha I enge soil health nan khan atra thin ti khai ti ngeng hriat
Can you repeat the question?
rice bran kha man khan
I rice bran a hianin I zo na tak kha eng
rice bran manga in ti khan in ti nge enge soil a health status kha athat le thal lo kha in ti ngeng hriat ama tu na tu chu chu nge mun da ti in hriat to
imo I kan pu za tak pu Christopher ro da pu soi ang khanin I englo hey science kha chu midang thu soi ringot kha hey ani lawa chan hey scientific dewa kan vati khania chu ke mani po hianin kan project ta hianin I midang thu soi to masengin hey an label chian law anti mei omse shelawan ti khania ke mani hianin scientific dewin I a reason vel te nen khan kan ron ti
tu pai na mo an athadu asiat thean ti kha improve ti na ne mo ani chuan khami soil thalo ti lai kha na tinge lo nei na bul tho ain ti ve lo adanga khan
at imo
school tuala ti lo khan
I school tual kha I lati chiat ve mi alawaniya chanin a acidity level kha I normal thawni chu chanin kan iti na po hi normal thawaniya masengin I hei hi chu shifting cultivation a kan man na hnu kha niya chanin I kan ti taka chu I hei mun shang ani mai ba ka I a answer kha ron adang don ti kha kan shi lok sa experiment hi I tuna kanti ringot hin la ma po khan an la kan I kanu te khan an lau ti to thawni chu mo
adik le don tin se sa fang in tin mo adik du ron de be ya ai po ni se lo mo me a lo mo lu to a thal to
control study ti ru sha to sa rin ani ka chuan it is a control study ni ta ni chuan pakhat le chu pu jonathan kha ti lo ulamo study area 1 anya in school kha study area 2 in tingamo chuan ming ron soi lam fong kha scientific ka chuan hey research kan ti na chuan ethical hi ethical committee hi omta kha khan min bar ve ni chumo in he mi ming soi chiat na te emo ka tang thilani theichin awangin chuan ani le mo based on your observation and your results from where do you think that fungus grew from? Was it already present in your rice bran or where would be the source?
Rice bran a khana present sa lawa I rice bran le tu hi kan mix yanin carbohydrates te I proteins how kha aronin breakdown na I amino acids vela khan chonin chu I leya hian kan da che hianin alaya soil microorganisms te khanin anwa bom du zo kani chu chonin white fungus ber kher kan ti na chan chu I white fungus hi I a na to chu leicha ani chu white fungus hianin leicha ti asia tira ama hi I leitan khana thashim shim ni chu chonin I englo microorganism a po hian white fungus ringot a po hianin I chi shang oma harmful te kha oma masengin white fungus hi chu I leitan khan acha
chu tak chuan mo tuna class 9 ni atro
class 12
class 12 then I'm going to ask you a difficult question
yes miss
so what exactly is the process by which we say that fungus is good for soil fertility anti the
fungus khachuanin I hey je ka nutrients te kha I plant sa te khanin ava provide thaini chu
khan ming nei I'm asking for that name
micro hey kantia
no
MYC
decomposition
the fungal
fungus yan decomposition anti thaya decomposition omja chu khimi rice bran khimo atira kha chuan tui nen it chokani me tani there would be nothing whatsoever coming out from your rice bran leya izuk da che ta fungus khi chuan ron mang tani khang microbes khan chuan microbe ka khan fungus aron to theina chan chu because of the process of decomposition and tinan carbohydrate pola ni phalo kha carbohydrates aron siama chuta a breakdown le newa kha khan soil fertility siam tamo that process we call it as decomposition. Oh
Yes.
okay, good.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lenon Puya from St. Francis of Assisi High School, Mamit. And today, our topic is conversion of waste plastic into fuel using the process of plastic pyrolysis under the sub-theme number 5, Technological Innovation for Ecosystem and Health. The main purpose of this project is to convert the waste plastic into fuel and to make a better environment for everyone. We all know that plastic pollution is a great threat to the environment and the ecosystem. 91% of the plastic waste end up in the landfill and the environment. According to a survey, more than 30 lakhs of plastic waste is produced every minute. Plastic waste affect marine animals. Millions and tons of plastic products end up in the environment, which can harm the ecosystem and harm the wildlife. So today, we are going to show one such way to turn waste plastic into useful products by the process of plastic pyrolysis. And this is the materials we use. A stainless steel pot and some pipes for the fumes, and some container for the conversion of liquid, and some more pipes and a water bottle, and of course an LPG stove. Methodology: plastic waste is collected and cut into pieces weighing 300 grams. It is kept in a steel pot, connect to a tube. The tube is connected to a container which is kept in a tub. The steel pot is kept on an LPG stove and heated on high flames for 20 minutes. Then the fumes start developing and it is connected to it, and it continues to heat. The fumes is collected in a container, kept in a tub filled with water, and condense the fumes into liquid. After heating the pot, about 40 minutes, 80 milliliters of liquid fuel is collected, and the word pyrolysis is taken from a Greek word. Pyro means heat or flames, and lysis means separating. So plastic pyrolysis means separation of plastic using heat or fire. And you might wonder how plastic is converted into fuel. We know that plastic is made from crude oil that is processed in a different way. So plastic pyrolysis reverses that process and turns it back into fuel. Observations. Pyrolysis takes place at around 30 to 900 degrees centigrade. After 20 minutes of heating, the fumes are turned into liquid state. At 300 grams of waste plastic produce 8 milliliters of fuel. When heating, the cool trap helps in the process of turning the gas into liquid. And the waste plastic are kept in that pot, and all the fumes goes through that pipe and condense into liquid state in that container. And all the uncondensable fumes are coming from this blue pipe to the bottle, and those unconvertible fumes are mainly made up of propane and ethane that can burn. So the gas produced in that bottle can also be used as cooking gas. Advantages of this project: the process not only reduces the plastic waste but also convert it into usable fuel. The liquid fuel can be used instead of kerosene. The byproduct of the gas can be used as fuel. The leftover biochar can also be converted into biochar bricks. Future plans: the project uses fire, which releases smoke to the environment if not done properly. So to make this better, we are planning to use induction heating method. We are also trying to make a larger scale for larger production, as the byproduct is not only limited to liquid fuel, but in the form of gases and solid form. In conclusion, plastic pyrolysis is an easy and effective way to dispose of the plastic waste. As production of plastic increases year after year, the ecosystem of an environment suffers from our plastic waste, and we should take necessary steps to make our environment clean. Lastly, every method of disposing plastic has its own drawbacks, and the most effective way is to reduce our usage and where we dispose our waste. Thank you.
Project ka ngai nom khop me chuan I foil siam chu chu inga tan ngai man tak le
Hey, convert we man na ai zong zong hen man ve thaya.
chu chu mang chine
Oh,
chu chu so la ba aman tlang ngai em ti kha kan hre ta lo tlat me ni ke ni hi chuan kan ti fe si lo tro aman tlang ngai mo
oh, hey hi. Oh,
chuan ni le a ek chia waste akala thoem steel a khan steel tunawa khan
oh,
Enting
ba
e-
ma hau khala on.
akhal
Oh,
a hlo manga tro
oh,
chuan ni le I khami kha foil kha engzal nge ka siam chokiti ka
8 milliliters. ML riat.
chu a waste kha engang material nge le plastic ti khan tam me ya
Oh,
polythene
heta
nge
hianin-
englam pang nge man
Hey, mineral water bottle ang chi hi atam berania. Heng hi office te englo side drain ti vel tang te kan lak homa. Chuan polythene kan tiang chi te motor tayar ti te poi man thema se motor tayar tak su ta song ka mang lem lawa. Heng zong zong hi man vek thei ni.
Ahman nalai ahman chuale nalai kha ni ta chuan I a waste lai ta kha la ek chia la umma kha intingai ti ri ral ta kang
Kha kha
a
chu
large scale in ti don tai la ki ti ta
oh balu nen hian an pola kha biochar bricks an tia akang ba nga tang khan brick ang chi hi siam chua thei ni.
ne akang bang atang kha ne siam thea ma se plastic waste kha ngai tam khop metro I siam chinem
Ai kha tak chu kan ti chin la.
university ko kan ti chinamo angai tam khop mai ale khami akhu khasu enge test na kha enge engage nge theng le ti kha foil la tang in siam ka enge niang a carbon nge niang a foil la ro chu ka test na omim
Ai lo.
chemistry department na mo nakina ti chin la thanga PUCMO MJT wa mo
nun pui emi pyrolysis emi in technica yan in alum zong hi 300 to 900 degrees centigrade ania a window hi rin ai na zaw ang ringa engtin nge inte
Hei hi ate na tur material hi kan nei lo wangin a temperature kha solan ngei kan du sia kha data sa tanga kan la ka ni.
data om sa tangin okay ani le thil pakhat ho te ka hriat chian tu pok chu 300 gram ba hian in 8 milliliter in nei theita chu a percentage ang pon achu thei don ani chu volume percentage so ani le gram mbi rit jok le jang jok ti vel te in ti non lem nge hei chau hin ti
Hei deuh chau hi kan ti.
okay thalu tu ke alo mi sian sai tu ne kan lom lu tu ke
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Injilal Munsiami, Class 9, from Government Diakon High School, Colosip. My topic for today is study and analysis of water quality of different community freshwater holes to occur in Colosip town under the sub-theme 1, Know Your Ecosystem. Next. Water is an inorganic, transparent, tasteless, odorless, and nearly colorless chemical substance, which is the main constraint of Earth's hydrosphere and the fluids of all non-living organisms. It is vital for all known forms of life. From those simple starter organisms to the most complex plants and animals, water has played a critical role in survival ever since. In humans, it acts as both solvent and delivering mechanisms, dissolving essential vitamins and nutrients from food and delivering to themselves. Our bodies also use water to flush out toxins, regulate body temperature, and aid our metabolisms. Because our body loses water through sweating, breathing, and digestion, it's crucial to rehydrate and replace the water by drinking fluids and eating food that contain water. Aims and objective of the study. Our aim: to study and analyze the water quality of different community freshwater holes in Colosseum Town. Objective number 1: to test the water quality of different community freshwater holes used by the public. Number 2: to investigate whether the community freshwater holes used by the public is safe for drinking and cooking purposes. Our team believes that it is necessary to test and investigate the water quality of different community freshwater holes consumed by the public to prevent the spread of waterborne disease and health of the public. We believe that we can help in giving awareness to the people if the water they use is safe for consumption. There are many families in Colosseum Town without PHE water connection. And with PHE water connection also depend on the community freshwater holes available in their locality for their daily supply of water. The core idea of this project was to test and investigate the water quality of different community freshwater holes to see the water they use is safe. For this, we collect water samples from 10 community freshwater holes and test them at District Laboratory, Public Health Engineering Department, Colosseum. Next, please. Methodology. Material required. The material we use for our experiment are: number 1, Bureau of Indian Standard Chart. Number 2, water test kit. Number 3, water sample. Number 4, logbook. Procedure. We went to only 10 community freshwater holes in Colosseum Town due to limited time on 8 September 2022 and collect half-liter water sample from each freshwater hose. We take this water sample to District Laboratory, Public Health Engineering Department, Colosseum on the same day. And the observation, and the observation of the test was recorded in our logbook for analysis. Next. Observation. By comparing our findings and the chart given by the PHE department, we observed that Quang Puilam Tikor has pH 8.6, which is higher than the chart, that is 6.5 to 8.5. Intake of higher pH level water can place adult at risk for health problems such as cancer, stroke, kidney disease, memory problems, and high blood pressure. In other criteria like turbidity, alkalinity, total chloride, and total tartness, all the freshwater holes have water at a normal range, but Diagonfield Tikor has total 1.4 ppm iron content. Higher iron content can damage the pancreas, liver, and stomach, and also it cannot be used for rinsing soap that we use for cleaning our utensils and is harmful for human health. Quang Puilam Si Cha Lui Tikor, Diagonfield Tikor, Bethel Tikor, Vengtar Kongtar, and Agelicious positive result on total coliform test, which indicate the presence of one of 3 bacteria: E. coli, Salmonella, and Citrobacter. Presence of these bacteria can cause food poisoning, diarrhea, typhoid, and vomiting. We also observed that out of 10 community freshwater hosts, we found that Rengtakon Tikor has the cleanest water, followed by Marveng Tikor and Vengtar Tikor. Next. Result. The following are the result of the project. Number 1, Quang Puilam Tikor has pH level 8.6, which is higher than the acceptable limit given by the Bureau of Standard Drinking Water Parameters, that is 6.5 to 8.5, and therefore is not safe for drinking and cooking. Number 2, Diagonfield Tikor has 1.4 ppm of total iron content, which is higher than the acceptable limit. Limit given by the Bureau of Standard Drinking Water Parameters, that is 0.3 ppm, and therefore is unsafe for drinking and cooking. Number 3. Khoang Pui Lam Si, Cha Lui Tui Khur, Diakon Phil Tui Khur, Bethel Tui Khur, Veng Thar Kong Thar and Ejuli shows positive result on total coliform test, which indicate the presence of one of E. coli, Salmonella or Citrobacter, and is unsafe for drinking. Conclusion. From our observation and result From our observation and result, we can conclude that out of 10, there are 7 community freshwater holes, that is Khoang Pui Lam Si, Cha Lui Tui Khur, Khoang Pui Lam Tui Khur, Diakon Phil Tui Khur, Bethel Tui Khur, Veng Thar Kong Thar and Ejulis have water unsafe for drinking and cooking purposes, and the other 3, that is Reng Tekon Tui Khur, Marveng Tui Khur and Veng Thar Tui Khur have water which are safe for drinking and cooking. Solution to the problem. The following are the solution to the problem. Number 1. High pH level water can be solved by consulting expert in the Public Health Engineering Department. Number 2. Waste deposit on water source can contribute to increase in iron content in water. Therefore, sources should be clean and waste should not be dumped into sources of freshwater holes. Number 3. Freshwater holes showing positive result for total coliform test can be made safe by boiling water before consuming because chlorination process could not be done on freshwater holes. Thank you.
Project chatakania presentation portra. Chuan pH sana chanka I chikata umamo limestone Khoang Pui Lam vel ku limestone omna ani thaya chu enge chinai lung mo kha wang kha ni thai ni chulai chu problem ni lo thaya chuan coliform kha ingwanga umnge le tui khur pasoma pasaria parukai mua
kami tak ko chumo kas tu tiang kan shit kan zir tiang lawa kami ka chan tiang zong kan zir kan test lawa
ka silang cho khang tui khur kha in an nai ang
nei
in an nai ve kang tin ek in pul na ya tui khurom re nang coliform om je na ni chu chana ni mo chuan kumsang hi pasari khan scholarship tui hi zirchen to potable water chuta chuan an mu chu hemi freshwater quality mo tui khur tui ain pH tui hi inata na tlal jok ti kha an lo paper dei to ni chuan trai hang kan soibel to chu freshwater hole ti hi tu phonge
Miss Mite kan gai teacher
ava poi ka soi tho ngai freshwater hole kan tingai lo mo spring point kan ti thin spring point is that hangem tui khur re hi spring point ani mo chuan spring point ti kan man lo le potable water kan ti thin chu science chuan spring point ti tur ani chuan le chung re tu ni chuan groundwater
yes sir
spring point se to do ne
yes sir
chuan sereng to meng chuan inawa khan chu ka soitang khan khami kha in ti do ni chuan coliform kha mi antenna tui khur kan zir do ni chuan settlement na in hayam ti hi apoi mo lu tu ka ni mo chu chuan coliform om lo kha en tir zel ni chuan ni china Khoang Pui Lam pH sana chan chu ka hril to jaka khu limestone lampang atama limestone deposit a ngai ti na ni mai china ilung ti na ni chu mo kha wang kha ni thil poi ani lo hetlai han unsafe for drinking ron ti tak na in pH value hi drinking water atan chuan value sang takani lem lo te khong sang takani lem lo di mo coliform te le thil dang kha ni zoka fluorine te khatian sang khan anti zoka ni pH tak hi chu neutral ani lo pon kha pui chuang lo ani inatan chuan mo ma se zir tona chu tui khur tui a in pH tui kha a thiang him zo kan bel sak chani chu
Thank you, sir.
Good presentation.
Thank you, Miss.
E. coli kasarin mo tuna polen zangini
Paul Kwa.
ishelo thei tlat ka soile lo meyang scientific names kan nei reng hian mo tuna pokhan E. coli te salmonella te khai data scientific terms reng hi italic sin an tur kan chu ni chuan kan chulu ta ni chuan mo
Yes, Miss.
enga tinge chani she them Italian and niwang Italian ming pe kan niwang in mo
Yes,
and
Miss.
then I went to from Sinod atangin heta via bus lotitala via kha Latin ani tho wangin via kha italics tho man tur ka tyang kha siam tha angamo chuan ilo thauzel ni chuan tin hemi hi in hemi bu hemi submit hi mo district level atangin engimoti dang laminem
Nei po ka shala.
a follow up tour vel heta district level competition in nei an soyem
Ai, sila.
ani karin in engmai ti long ni karin na chan chumo I table a hian
8.14.
nilaw hemi I table a hian mo AG lui hi mo niria thlakwa sang ni somthum pakhata in kala niria thlakwa sang ni somthum pakhata de in local lok ta ni chumo chuan khati khan he aswal tanwai ta khawang khana engma I soyan nei lowem monile kan hanti na chanchu chuan an enge ni nangma khan future plan ti kha district level a po I soi tho karinga boiling water kan tui kan boil chuan khang enge ni bacteria ho kha kan that the ni ti ititani kha I follow up em
O I gen to pH water hi kan man wang kan eng lau kher lawa.
ai ni lawe kha study na anita ni chumo study na khan result a khan I tui kan chuan so chuan heng bacteria so hi kan that thea then it is safe for drinking ti khan ichin khan iron soi chuak in ka sha kha itireng em I boil chinem
Ai ke matak chon ka telawa ka chian tenan ti. I coliform test positive ho te khami tui khor bula han ka chian te no ma chan khami ka lauti ula in man don ni pon lauti zero ka tia ka soi chang khan
ai lo te zero u iti khan mo I soi ngot thei lo na chan chu I test le photanga ya lom and then science a chuan ka ngai danin ti hi arem mi alo ta chu wang chuan khang tui kha ila anga khami enge bacteria tamna tui ti khamo asan big na ho khalala chuang lela chuta he test hi iwatiliang an thinge yem ani lo chuan an lo thim mi alo theya minute dar ka rengzat nge kan chhuanang ti kha izuk shil tur zo kan itani shethiam tro chu
Yes, miss.
that is why you are a young scientist shethiam em
Yes, miss.
khati nge tur chuan in lo chuang za anga a chuan hi a that karing hi kan ti thelo chuan hi a tha ani chuta engza daring nge kan chhuanang ti te lo chuang ta ula enge asira hianin enge moni thil enge ni debris a chuan na bela kha na omem omlovem alo omani chuan chuti chuan in ti donya ti zong kha iti turani ta ni chumo
Yes, miss.
o chu tuna local lo po nila nakina adot le zela de po inaw te ho iti hun tura kati kha atok lo tuna mi hi chu ka zir chan trantir na ani a ma se public ne na ka soidon chuan a thanya oi thil ti kha public ne na iti don khan claim bel kha angai ani chu
Yes, miss.
okay thank you
Thank you, miss.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Salman Kimi, and I am from Sampai Holy Mission School, and I am studying grade 8. Our topic is medicinal plants in Sampai, and for better understanding, I will give my presentation in Mizoram. Ama sabira chuan introduction lawanila. Hengram muldam doi medicinal plants kan ti te hi enge mu har sa anilawa mu asam tak tak ania achen chu in bul le hwan vela mu thai me ti ania chuan he tiang medicinal plants kan tira mu dam doi ho hi enge company dam doi siam nan an manga chumi lo ve ma ka sum don nan medicinal dam doya kan man me ba ka hianin sum don nan an mang chang kai bokani aims and objective en leila ama sabira chuan champaya ram muldam doi zir chian ania adota hian hengram muldam doi hi mi engza tin nge mang ti ania chuan a pathum na hi chuanin hetiang ram muldam doi hi engtin nge an man ti zir chian ni chuan heta map kan mu hi kan study site champhai khwa omna ni hypothesis en leila champaya kan zir chian na atang hian hetiang ram muldam doi hi effective tura ngai ania chuan mundanga mi anga thiang lim ngei tura ngai ani bok next methodology he tuna kan project hi survey method in kan neya chan champhai veng panga a interview nein mi somrukle pasari kan mi somrukle pasari zona kan zota kan thil zo hawa hi chan enting nge hetyang ram muldam do hi an man ti te ayang lai ayang part nge an man ti le khoi chang nge hetyang ram muldam do hi an mu ti te kan zota ni tuna observation table 1 a hianin species name le unfamily unlocal name le apart use ayang part khange dam doi tan an man ti te chuan eng nan na ti dam nan ni an man ti te kan hmuwa hemi observation table 1 atang kan survey nei atangin kalna zunthum ko chalau le pumna dam doya an mang de bera chuan apart use a hi chuanin a hna chhum tui hi kan survey nei atang chuan an man na sat ber ni next table 2 table 2 a hi chuan unfamily ania family pakhata hian species engzat nge omti ni a number of species ania chuanin heng species hi mi engzat nge mangti kan hmu bokani result kan survey ne chang hian species somni panga kan hmu a chuan heng species somni panga te hi family som pariat achang ni in zingiberasi le asterasi te hi family common ber ani a zingiberasi le asterasi family chang hian species pathum ve kan hmu a chuan Euphorbiaceae myrtaceae le Elaenaceae family chang hian species pahnih kan hmu a chuan abak family som pathum la bang chang hi chuan species pakhat cheu kan hmu a ama sa karon soi to ang khan survey kan nei achanga kan sia dai chuanin ram mudam doi lau mang to ho hianin a hna hi dam doi ta na an man deu ber ani conclusion heng ram mudam doi te hi ka soiba ka pokhan natna ti sang ti dam nan an mang to a chuan mala kan pi pu te khachanin an tu le fa te hi hetyang ram muldam doi hi ka nge nanin sia tunang la hi chuanin chalai kum abikin kum som pariat achanga kum som thum in kar han ram muldam doi lampang chansin hi sha dan nei tle me ma achana nia kan sha thi tu tun la ya tanin khover chang sauzela company dam doi te po dam to ma company dam doi chu eite alo ol samjo ka ba hianin hetyang ram muldam doi hi an she lau ni kan sha ni follow up tuna karam muldam doi ron soi ho ba ka kharam muldam doi tam tak ala oma chuanin mi thiam te na alla validated lau tam tak om boka chuan kangen du chu hetyang ram muldam doi hi company dam doi a hian man war zo kila company dam doi a hian ram muldam doi hian side effect anei tlem zo ka chen khata phe hi chuanin side effect nei lau ang tluka ni aram muldam doi hi chu wangin chalai te le puitling te pon ni se ram muldam doi hi mang war zok turin karon ngen ni khajong ha karon present thai chu ni kalome
mon kimi tan lome presentation ngai nom khop me i reference ho hi kalo ena mizowa chuan medicinal plants a kan mi thiam ho le khabu khai ron deu veka chuan khangkhai chiar khong howa champhai kha in thang ho ti na me
o char kha chu kan char tho ma se char a kha chuan survey method khan kan kalna sa amishing a zo kha kantina sa zo
kumu palam panga min zo
kum upalampang kum somli achanga somnga borbe hinya thantu chalai lampang chuan engma ram muldam doi lampang sha dan nei belawa
yeah I was doctor ni du mela tro in ti dana tong chuan hiam don riawin ka ria chuan ing lawa khamo it kal chaklu to ka ni china I azat table number 2 ka kha mi kha kimi kimo number of species ki tunge identify pui chu
cái miss là mình chỉ cho cái mà điều cái cái gì tôi nhớ miss cho mình chỉ tiền cái mà là cái partner
ai ka ti chu mo species level taxonomic hierarchy chu har to ka mo iti the kha kan ring lo deu hle ka species identify chu iti the mo
à cho nên tôi Google trang ron tên này không mà
chuan a na kha yen ti na me a thlai na kha khai mi sa don reu ni chu chan chu a tak al thil identify hi taxonomy hierarchy hi har to ka taxonomy tha an ti lo hi chuan an identify she thina mo botanist senior botanist kan tiang te hian an identify the le boka ani lo kha chuan tungei ron ango te kha kalo ngai tua alo mo me chuan ni le kimi number of people use the ki izot ngau me ti na me he tiang hi imhang iti zel ti na me
survey kan nei na kan dot ko je
alo mo me champai imme pa khan champai district khai ron da ko me champai district khai cover do mo kalo ti mana ma che champai town na chau ni ta dro veng sa tangi kalakwa
veng panga
alo mo me ka do to ke
thil zo don chuan ser zo thana en phot ze la ngai lo mengrum lo eng ngoi ro lo ko han let le la ki survey iti ta tro survey iti khan engtin tak nge in kal dan iwa zot ti han ale khabu nen iwa kal nge engtin nge an lo shil che kha
imum kan survey dan ta kai chon an ma ni kharam muldam doi e chin an nei le nei la kan zol ma sabera an nei kha chuanin an e china kha amin kan zota an e dan le engtin nge an e ti te chuanin khoi chang nge kha jangram muldam doi kha an mu ti te le engnatna dam doi tan ni an e ti kha kan
chu tak chu i result ta khan han ti lang chang le zwalamo achan chu ram hul dam doi kha i ron da thwa a chu ta species ki ti khan i ron da le ta ni akhami iwa survey akha I research ani telta chuan khang zong kha ron da latin I an ma ni khan natna ve de hlek an ni iti em
natna ve
chu tak chu eng natna ve nge an ni ti te po kha chu I data nei to sa a khan iti enrich thei ni chu mon na sat takin iti enrich thei ta chuan an natna nei sa te kum kha I ron soita ni kum somli le kum somnga in ka ra hianin eng natna nge lo tam reng in champhai khwa a ti te po kha I ron she thei ta ni chuan an ma ni khan dam doi dang an ei telem ti te po kha han shiala mo I
kha chu kan zot thawa kan to eng la kha chuanin dam doi dang e kha chun nei lo hemi aram mul dam doi de to
ngor chu tak chu lom a thalu tuka ma se your presentation a khan he khang ang iwa mu chwa that deu kha in ron mai ta ni chu chung ang te chu mo tin he I atopa I conclude na po khan isoyani a chen chu validate ani a chen validate ani lo ti thu I ron soita ni khami I ron soina kha I ron soina ki tak kha he tilaya an kum zat I ron sha anga kum zat atangin natna an lo nei to sa kha han chin cha ngau la chuta engram mul dam doi ber khange an e ti akha khityang anga ronda lo khian chu inzirna sa si a kalo uyani chu chuan khatyang ang khan handa chintala I result khan namin lovin aron in her dang lamang chethamem eng hinge an e common eng natna a nge ti kha I result themi I table khan aron soi chang don ta ni khatya ka changa soi ringot lo khan mo chuan achan chu inei vekin karing ta chuan heng ang tu na inei validate ani le ni lo chu antenan in lo Google ani karing atro journal zirto an lo nei to an nean lo omem ti te po kha he a validation a kha chuan a om don shim ta ni chu mo nang ma ni heta Mizoram chunga chau zir lo po alo ni lo theita khatyang ang zong khan ma se kha chu Paul kwa chuan asang ma kha chu tilo Paul ria ta o asang ma kha chu tilo timia lo ma ula poi ka tilo tin tuna khimi table ironda po khi Paul ria ta taxonomy thiam tur chuan entenan na ilo nei ta ngoro o botany a hian mo na atangin eggplant ma hi an identify ngai lo number 1 chu isoi swal I identify lo ti karon siat na ani bokta ni achan chu floral an pangpara zo khi ani tamo akan identify na chu wang chuan na chu engma ani lo na chu ron tel ve chau zo kani a main identification ki chu a pangpara omta kha wang khan khimi iron ti po khi pol ria tan chuan asang em o ka chelo ma se nangman I konfi pui chuan a pui mia lo ma se izir na tak zo ka kha survey in kala in kalkwala in somsari jami kha somruk pasaria atam lu tuknya I somruk pasari in kal khamo khang ang kha an kumle an kum te ka han nei ta la chuta engnat nange an nei ti le engdam doi khange an nei chuta chu isoi ang chuan ram hul dam doi che chu an la ring le nga la ni an that zia chu akhami zong thatura kha iron mai ta de ak tang ka hau che ni lo nya o
observation table one ha tanin kan jak tho ma se species somni pangala ni wang kham pakhate te ka soi kha tanin minute
ai ki chu mo ki tu na species I soi te ki chu enge pa use ki chu he le khabu changpon alak the ma se ki te ki chu study ni he te meang in study thowa a uses ki king ki enter chu ka soi tum chu mo kimi amma saber la khui the ki a fruit ani ta ni education of the peel is taken orally in diabetes ki ikalpui niem ki I 80 ramo
ai ni lo an ma ni an soi ang do to
so tak so I discovery ni lo ta ni ma say what was your discovery hemi izir na yan chu king species ki an a tam ti ron shitani ma say I uses ki chu idole soi tel lo mala poi lo kha chu hey ishe thiam tro ka soi omzia I main study apoi moza chu basic study in eta a background study in eta ni tuna izir chwa atang hian mi tam takin I le hey engeni medicinal plants lo zir to te point miss out an lo nei thei ti te kha a basic study kha iron pho chwak don ani she thiam tro chu wang chuan kha survey ti kha apoi mo lutuk kha survey study ti zo kha ronda chwak la chukati she thiam tro chuan king ang ho a powder is mixed with water and is orally kimi ai eng te po orally taken in diarrhea ki an mani soi po chulo ni ta se ki chu table 1 in ei chu I survey study nyanga I table 2 chu kimi an lo soya ki lo ni ta po lo ni se an ei ne madana zir khan mo le heta I survey a khan in nat na nge nei tamber kha izuk she don photani an nei nat na an nei tamber khan enge an ei ber kha izuk she dona khang kha dule king ho ki siam tamai talang zokin ki chu secondary a da lamo ishe thiam tro izuk survey kha anya poi mo lu tu ka chu o kan soi to teu ni chu thank you
chuk chak to mi in research ang ngai nom thin le mai engma kalau ti velo ka tia sar zo thana aming room to bok se ma se I table ma saper ya I da rei ta si engmoni kalau huwa se khup thur hi hei ki chu thingtlang kho chuak ani kan ei na sa thail tu ni chu ma se ta hianin apart you sa hianin a leaf an ti te ya akung hi ani per kan hi thri na mo chu lo zot thale chin tia ani po ni jok mai tia dam doi tan chuan
achen ni chu ka chanu ne na veng pro ka chanu khan veng ni ta ka veng thu ma ha kal ta ka chanu zo ho hi tu kai tang ka shebak lu tu la wa to ba na ke ma zo ho
lo zot thale chin teu o thei chuan ka number in nei ngam le mi lo hril ve hrim la ka chap mi hemi te hi
Oh, next car, get out Roisela, Government High School, not here.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kailel Shoizela, class 10, and a team leader. And my team member is B. Van Sampui from Government High School, Nathiel. Our guide teacher is H. Zoding Puya, and the name of our project title is Comparative Study of Home Gardening and Understand its Benefits for our Ecosystem Health and Well-being. Under the sub-theme number 3, Social and Cultural Practice for Ecosystem and Health. For our better explanations and interactions with you, please don't mind me. I will continue Mizo language. Introduction. Home gardening. Home gardening hi kitchen garden pon ti china. Home gardening kan ti chuan Mizo ti chuan in chuk tu hwan kan ti mai hi nia chuk tu hwan chu he kan mong hian helama hian ki in sir lampang ami te in hnung lampang emo in malampang ami te po kha a season mizela thai kan chin kha home garden chuk home gardening chuan ni mai a ti chuan he project ina atum te kan soi nga langa aims and objective he project ina atum pakhat na chu home gardening hian kan ecosystem tan achat mai ba ka machine ta acha ti fia kan tuma apani na chuanin chung ka sang chuk tu hwan kan ti chuk tu hwan nei te le nei lo te thakhat chunga thai an le na man expenditure kha khai khin kan tum boka ti chuanin apathum na chuanin mi pui tam jok te na chuk tu hwan an local pui ve theina na in zeti na le in free na sa jok nei kan tum bok ani chuan hypothesis pakhat na hianin thai chi thai kan lak luna vegetables thai kan lak luna phai mo hundang emo achanga kan lak na alo boy palin he kan project hian na satakin he kan boy na hi asuk yang thei don ani chuan panina chuanin home gardening hian kan chung ko expenditure kan sa takin atizia omin enge kan man tlem pha thei don ni chu paisa khamo chuan ato berna chuan chuk tu huan hian kan ecosystem ma hun poi mo taka changa kan shisel na tan acha bok ani chuan methodology a kan kal lenga lungleng veng na thiala son chuk tu huan nei te le chuk tu huan nei lote headline kan aim sa kan lo soi to ang khanin survey te interview te kan neya chuta chuanin chuk tu huan nei mi som chung ko som te ina kan kala chuk tu huan nei lo mi som chung ko som te ina kan kal boka chung ko member in rual khai de wa khan mo ti chuanin chuta kan zona amasabira chuan sola kan aim kan lo soi to ang khan an expenditure an monthly expenditure kha kan zota ti chuanin chu khai khin na te kan neya ti chuan observations and data collection khala tilang se hemi that the data hianin chungko sang chungko so kan kalna te chuan nia amasabira chuan cheng sang ni zanga ten manga adotua chuan cheng sang ni te kha man sang in ang lauta a ti chuanin chu an total expenditure ka kan chuak ta cheng sing ni sang sari za sari aloni a chumi an average expenditure kan han chut le chuan chung ko tin ten chuk tu hwan nei bi ka mo chung ko tin ten cheng sang ni za sari som sari ang ve zel atlang puin an lo mang angin kan chuta ti chuan table number 2 a hianin chuk tu hwan nei ve mi alo ale le chau bazara an chome tur va le chau tikha kan la khom ve le a chu ama sabira chon cheng sang li zanga te cheng sanga za sari te le cheng sang ruk te kha an manga chumi in ang lawa enge chung ko member omda na ji khan in ang lo ve wang khanin kan la uluk boka chuanin total expenditure kan chut le a cheng singa sang ru sa thum alo nia chuan an average chuk to han nei ve mi alo ten thakha chunga chome an le na atana an poisa sen zat kha kan han chut le in average a kan han chutin cheng sanga zaruk som thum de thakhata chome le nan khai shing big le nan alo mang ti kha kan mu chwa ka chuan anoi ber kan mong hian a difference kan zong ta a chuk tu hwan nei ve mi alo te poisa man za ta changin chuk tu hwan nei te poisa man kha kan han pai ta a cheng sang ni zariat somruk alo chhuak ta a chumi chu conclusion kan soi ngalanga chumi chu kan lo chu ta changa kan lo mu chwa tak chu chuk tu hwan nei te a in chuk tu hwan lo nei lo te hian thakhat chungin poisa an mang tam dei zok ani ti kha kan mu chwa ka chakme leinan mo ti chuan chu mai ba ka chuanin chuk tu hwan nei te chuanin enge an hlim pui zok thu te kan survey na chingin min shilen ni chumo chuanin chu mai ba ka chuanin enge time pass na chalu tuk ani ti te an soya chu ba ka an ma ni pokhanin enge bazar changa an thil le chakme an le ai in an ma ni thar kha a fresh zoka a soi war de te phe chon a tui zok ten ti ni chu chuan chuk tu hwan hi kan ecosystem kan ecosystem atan cha a chu ba ka chuan deforestation among claim boka chuan kan shisel na tam po cha ani chuan future plan hi pathum kan neya pakhat na chuanin tuna kan kalpui dan tuna chuk tu hwan nei te na kan kalpui dan ai chale changtlung zo ka kalpuya mani chung ko mamo phushuk nan mai ba ka sumata na man the nge kha kan tum boka ti chona pani na chuanin achi chazok mo athar tam thei zok te ngai to a hemi ko nga hen na sa taka mala kan tum boka ti chona atobira chuanin chung ko sang sang no bipui te a awareness na sa le zo ka neya enge chuk tu hwan nei chat zia te na sa zo ka shila chu mai ba ka chuk tu hwan an lo nei venge ne turin na sa zo kin ma kan la anga ti chuan chu kan lo ti hlot ling thei ni chuan kan ram kan lo in to de langa chuan chumi chuan hong chatak kan ram tan lo nei thei pha don ani kalo me
kan lo me khoi zela hemi ti na survey ti na hi lungleng veng mo khoi lam pang khang e
na thia eng tia
na thia la tang lam pang chim lam pang ani chuan I huan suk tu huan ba ka khan lo nei pon lo nu lang tro kan zo na tu chu kha po kha ani che chong lo mo kan sam fai pot ni kha tu na I survey ti na ho te hi mo chung ko member in zat an ni
imo chung ko member in rual tlang deu kha hei chuk to han nei lawa kha kan thlang ve ni chu
kha
pathuma changa panga in kan
member zat kha kolom pakhat in than tho te chuan ziak ula chuan a chianga nga khai king kha ol don ani mo chu kan sei du lai chu ni chuan chuk tu hwan nei kha a tha sim simani soeng kha dik chia chuk tu hwan nei chuan eng hotel tal thar trip ko chuan a hlo ka ne me ya chim lam pa hian a nuar lo watro na thiala pohan buaran tabak lo em
chuk to hwan mo keima ni omna lam chim lama chuan an war ani chu chon chim lam lawa hen an war fak lo
lung lei te po so ni tho mo sai ha te po ni tho long tlai te po ni tho chuk to hwan in war fak lo chim lam pang in ka soi top ani chu kan ve kwal na sa ta wang in chuk to hwan hi am ka tian ti ve mi lo le kan ti trina ai so le cheve la chu mu furang mar lam pang tlang dunga chuan chuk to hwan hian war ani chu kan sei zau lok du ni chu chuan family member zat nen khan khai khin ni ta sela chuan mi pa le me chia pokha zela nei lenga tin chu kwa pokhan sarkar na thoklo mo katinga da pokhan zela nei le thein kan ringa chuk tu hwan nei lo kha chu sarkar na thok mo lo ni ta se tiang chi kha mo khatiang kha enge zona kha la tam the ni poisan sen tam na chan kha mo tin chome war vak lo ke po kha ka parol ve thina chome kha chu kalai lutuk lo 嘿，打了二对的看唱没么点，没可啥个呢？就往转，他点没看我们题呢，他就往转呢，啊 member 啥他不么，的头转呢啊不用别的咯，马上看走读来这里，的头也对来看，老没哦。
anh lâu o sar ma dina lâu soi eng a khanin member in zat lo ro chuan khami expenditure bel khom top ni lo kha a total ni lo kha enge I a median lampang te zong jok taw lo mo chu chuan in enge omjani takin in enge in analyze dan tu kha lo ril ka ringa chuan thil pakhat hetian approximately monthly expenditure tita hi kha engzat nge in en pui nge tha chan ve in te inva extrapolate top
thak hat chung khamo kartin kan kal kwal kan englo kan data la khau te na hian
okay ani tak chu chuti ani chuanin approximate monthly expenditure or monthly again in soi tamei tinani mo chuan thil dang dei hey vanal mo ka national level a kal to heta school kal line aizola ke mang kai ta ni nge hey sarte ponan rel tu ko nga val mo ka in ron ve re rengem val mo ka in rem na thira bazar ve nga ni mai thei tra jon nu puite nei to a
I kan ron lawa mo I hey tuna kan ti hi local dewa thil ti thei si thalu tuk si ani wang han ke mani ir om chok ang khan ti ve kan du wang han I ke mani to pin kan ti
ngoro chulai te chu ir om ti lai kha at thalu tuk ka hey originality te mase scientific project ka thil danga poni mi ron ni she lo tun ni teamwork ki poi mon chu a rejok te hey atithiam te local scientist hey local scientist kan ti kan hey indigenous te poni thei thiam na MSc anei kher lo mai thei ho Timothy te po kha om ta ani po I enge agriculture lampang ta chu sel tuk nga khatiang environment te khan hey in report ti enge ati chak le as well ti strong le as well nin chu a content kha ti thani chu mo chu ting vel chu karil ro om mai me tin an thur ro om lo ve a khong an thur
a fere lai nia
an lo okay mission sort ve dem o
ma sebera chuan criteria I khami mi som in lak na chana kha I soinol to up chuk to hwan nei lo in kar kha in zong ta tro chuan ani le chuk to hwan khera khan kha mi thi kha enteran mi som ai punan tam kringa I nei lo po khami som ai nan tam kringa chu enge in criteria
kan criteria chuan mo kha alian ber an poisa man zata kha ania chuan a dotlia chuan in a tuilo ang chi an mani ngai to na anga mo engte kan
so wan nei a tui nge ni a chome
chuk to hwana chome kha a tui jok nge jok lo tianga khan criteria kan nei boka mo chuan a pathum na chuan in hun an man chung an lak na tur hun man chung kha chuk to han nei ve me lo te chuan bazara an vale de ngai bazar lo lata pe chuan hun khawi om em a khami chung khan thil tam takan ti thei dona chuk to han nei te chuan in bul me ya ol san te in an man hun an va me
so that was your methodology you forgot to mention that chuan khati ang si kho he atul lawang a kan ti ang kha methodology kha ani vek chu the selection of my selection of these participants is based on the following criteria hanti ula tu nei soi zong kha atil hule ate sang le vek ani chu mo chuan ithil soi pakhat kat kalak fu deu chu chuk twa hwan nei khan kan hlim an ti a ti thu kha iron soi ta ni tuna kha chu entirnan khan ni china zinga Dr. Christiana soi to a apple kha a ena ate ta tro a le kha omta ni chu two different aspects kha omta tuna khan behavioral iron soi ta ni khalai te akha al aron soi ho ka ti han ngai toilet le ta la out of the 10 respondents ก็จังอ้ออันมิ่งขยักต่อสู้นักกินอาจจะนี่เราลิงเฉาเจลนี่จวนเละกลุ่มดังเรียงอ่ะพอมิ่งฮิจับพันเราอ้อมิ่ง respondent 1 2 3 4 study participant 1 2 3 4ที่พวกเขาไปจวงเราอ้อส่วนข้างอังอันที่นั่นจุกตัววันนี้เขาว่าพวกขันอันลิมตีค่ะ how much percent จริงเงี้ยลิมตีสวยที่อังซีที่เขาเนี่ยตาเสส่วนอีอัตุยมอ fresh อันที่เขามีค่ะจุมีอันรุนสวยชัวเคร์ค่ะเองอี result จากคันที่คันอีรุนสวยเวกเทอีเช่นที่ทำตัวส่วน it makes your project more completeเช่นที่ทำอีสวยเสียอีดาสีแล้วว่าวิตัวไล่เขาเนี่ยเสมอส่วนประคัดเล็จูหวนจุกตัวหวนในเวลาโฮค่ะอีเอ็นที่นั้นหนูประเรกหนูป้าอันนัทกอันนี้ก็ส่วนอันไหนมันเราค่ะ reason ค่ะในเตลโรเฮ้ member จัดอิชาดรัลคันเองreason นั้นในจุกตัวหวนนี้อันเราเชื่อไงไม่เราเงอันเปเราเงอันมันเราดีไลค่ะที่ลมเวทเฮียนี่ตานี่โมอันฟาเต้นและโนปังลุตุกันมันเหลาลุตุกาอันนูคันอินาอมปอนี่เสียที่พอมเวทให้ factors เขาอมเวทให้จูข้างซงค่ะหันดาเล็กเพลังจวนตัวน้ามีสมฮาร์ซาฮาร์ซาลาเวฮาร์ซาลาตรอตัวน่าอิตลินเล็ดลินเหลาจูนักตัวการ result จะชัดงาลังเหลาตลิงเหลาวันนี้จวนข้างใครบอจุยงารูปงาตัวน่า after science state level exhibition ในโซตากาอี follow up program คัดเจียงโตกินสวยบกังเฮงจู follow up กันที่ฮันให้มากกับปูเนียโอ follow up improvement over the previous level suggested ฮันมากสมไล่ปุตาข้างค่ะอินในเลนในเราค่ะ presentation นะฮันอมเวทินเซลโมทินนะอีจงจูโอเอาเลย thank you
Ole, ala rempuya. Government Mizo High School, Kansome.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ala Rempuya, and my partner's name is Laltlamwani. We are both from Government Mizo High School, studying class 10, and our guide teacher is Miss H. Larinomi. The focal theme for this year's Student Science Congress is Understanding Ecosystem for Health and Well-being. And for the sub-theme, we choose sub-theme number 5, which is Technological Innovation for Ecosystem and Health. And our project title is Designing Simple Electronic Device for Weather Monitoring. In today's world, climatic change and environmental monitoring have received much attention recently. The impact of the environmental condition causes numerous challenges in various fields like agriculture, industry, constructions, as well as more other fields. Weather monitoring plays an important role in human life. So the collection of information about the temporal dynamics of weather changes is very important. The proposed weather station is a device that measures and records the meteorological parameter using sensor without much intervention of human. In addition, India is an agricultural-based country. Almost 17 to 18% of the country's GDP is contributed by agriculture, which accounts to 50% of the workforce. But it totally depends on the weather and rainfall. So weather monitoring needs to be accurate as well as zone specific in order to plan contingency for the upcoming situations. In our objectives, we have 3 objectives. Number 1, to design and develop a simple electronic device for weather monitoring. Number 2, to observe and record the real-time weather situations at different altitudes. And number 3, to compare and analyze data of different stations. And our hypothesis, simple and low-cost electronic devices are effective for monitoring weather data. And methodology. Methodology is separated in 3 categories. Number 1 is study sites and the constructions and how the data is collected. And study sites, the developed devices were kept at 3 localities with different altitudes. The meters shown on the side of the stations are the altitude on which where the devices were kept at. It is separated in station A, B, C, Durtlang, Chan Marian College, Veng. And there is station D representing Mineko. The data collected by Directorate of Science and Technology in Meneco were compared to the data we collected from the 3 stations. And for the constructions of this device, we use 4 components. Of those are number 1, Arduino Uno. Arduino Uno is an open source physical computing platform based on a microcontroller board. Here, the developed software were programmed on the board, resulting in many types of physical output. And DHT11 sensor. DHT11 sensor is the basic sensor for measuring the humidity, temperature, and heat index of the surrounding air. And displays the data collected on a digital screen. And number 3, we have jumper wires and USB cable. Jumper wires is used to connect the DHT11 sensor and Arduino using male to female jumper wire. And USB cable is used to connect the Arduino and laptop. And number 4, we have laptop and internet connection. The data collected were displayed on laptop and storing data with the help of internet connections. And data were collected every day starting from August 28 to October 14, a total of 48 days. And were tabulated into Excel sheet and analyzed in graph for simpler access. Next. Observations. From the recorded data, the recorded data were plotted into graph. As shown, the data of the humidity, temperature, and heat index from every station is compared between the highest and lowest every day. Next. And data analysis and interpretation. From the point number 1, we see that humidity ranges between 50% to 96%, and heat temperature ranges between 17.1 degrees Celsius to 33.3 degrees Celsius, and heat index ranges between 17.2 degrees Celsius to 40.4 degrees Celsius. From the point observed in number 1, the data shown is the lowest and highest collected for 48 days from the 4 stations. And the point below, number 2, 3, and 4 shows the humidity, temperature, and heat index differs between the 4 stations. And results. From the data studied, the results can be seen that the parameter differs based on the altitude of the station. For example, in station C, College-Veng, the altitude is the lowest among the 4 stations, resulting in the increasing temperature. The same goes to station A, Durtlang. The altitude is the highest, resulting in the decreasing temperature and heat index. Next. Conclusion. There are currently 8 weather stations throughout Mizoram, but it can't even represent the entire district on which where the devices were kept at. Therefore, there is a great need for installations of weather monitoring stations for research purpose for the future use, and with the help of the parameter to know the changes of the ecosystem. Also, it is convenient for the farmers to enhance crop production. From our results, we came to know that our device is very reliable, as our data collected follows the data trend of the State Meteorological Center, Directorate of Science and Technology, Government of Mizoram. And solution to the problem. The developed electronic device is low cost and reliable and can be easily made by everyone. If that is so, the real-time weather can be freely studied and observed easily at different places by everyone. Future scope of the work. Those weather data were displayed on laptop, so laptop has to be switched on throughout the entire experiment. And those are the disadvantages and inconvenience of this project. To overcome this, we can upgrade our project by using cell phones instead of laptop via connectivity software. After that, the real-time weather will be able to observe from our cell phones anywhere, anytime through online access. Here is the developed weather monitoring device that we made. And this type of device is the device that we installed on different places. That's all the presentation I can share with you all today. Thank you.
Microcontroller board well he in leita tro. Tiyan
kan le ni che lo kan skula khan lep pa mo ta chuan na omsa kha kan mang to.
Pol jang ai sir.
Pol som.
Chu tak chu exhibition type to le ka asoi tlang top tile achan chu i rethiam don chu black box angin i treat top don ta ni nang pon i rem khom ta i rethiam sensor sensor humidity te chu engtin nge ate tak ti te kai riat chian angai chu chu tiang hre thiam tur chon thil tam tak khai va riat angai chu ho chu ma se hei hi twist thei nin ka hre ke ma chuan a twist thei dan chu isoyang khanin mystical pon ante thota mystical te nen adang lampok silo a chu wang chuanin hei Mizoram sang sanga low cost to win te dan a ti ang zong in khathiam em khating zong chun tita la chon ke chu ka ha dam lut ka nga amaro chu hei tun anga hetia engtinge kan tiang technologically a emo technique tinga atharang do over represent tur chon ke ma chon in hei anwam che lo do ni chu i pa ka a originality te thlengin i ate na tak takania ikit la ki hi nei hi i chu wang chuanin ke ma chuanin hemi akit ai ma chuanin mun sang sanga achan chu mystica miang pui tu set up thei lo ni chu a reliable ve thosia ma se a durability te a consistency te chu kum khat no te chon ve en fia te chu angai lu tu ka nga amar chu low cost to win ka te thei mun sang sanga ti ang zong in narrative ka kalpui tala ke ma chon hei a ha tamang a thal tu i he tiang chi lova foin ang project a po nang man lo tia amaro chu chung vel chu karil ro ama kan lo comment ta tu ani chu
yes thank you sir
rampoi aka soi tu mang lo chu ran soi to no ma se kan zo du chu lo kho se ti ta hemi lo tur khan in sang ngi sen
a total hian cheng sang khat zat Amazon a danang kha chu sang khat som thum pakwa
a se laptop mani chut lawa
a laptop chu tel
kha
se laptop chu lo a coding kan sulu na ber software kan lo na ber khan ya
kha wang khan ani mo lo kho sang ni thei lo na chan ani zo kem
ma se laptop fo hi voi khat kan program kan sulu to khat chuan cell phones bang te po khan laptop ngai kher lo khan a connect back thei lo na ken
kha zo kha la present to rom tak chu ni ta tuna kha chuan lo kho sang ni thei lo na chan chu laptop kha kan lap man ngai tla tan tro chuan station pathuma khan in ti ta station pathuma khan laptop pathumin mang me ti na me
kan nalo kan school ina a provide khan kan mang mai
school laptop omsa kha in manga chuan tuna arduino poka school ami kha in mang ta a chuan a box kha nang mani siam nge
a box si anglo RB impression nami zakotami kan leya kan siam tira kan leya
design tir chuan a vai chuan in jang in siam ta
steng sang ni don chu ni mai the ka sha chiang lo
kha karelua chuan mo low cost in ti chuan chumi sha chu kan seng ti kha kalau song charcha in right up hian mo
a bom te lo poina thei tho ma se bom hi a durable le a design ron ti dang lam na hang kan si
chut lai bor ve chu ni wang ani I low cost kan ti chuan paisa khoi do ni kha chuan in sang ngen center rem ti kha rilwa khan zona kha lamo chuan hemi real time monitoring station and chuan tuna khan compare tak nine durable khan thawem tan ani kha chu kumakwa man ta kha chu comparable compare tur kha chu ni chela wanga tuna chuan ni khat vel chu in mang ta tro hemi hi chu
ai ni lo hi chu kan siam na re to
ai ka som je chu englai point on lo
24 hours kan on song lo ni khana
chu wang sok chon ka zon na chu wang chuan ne han compare kha chu rem lo wa kan ngai
thil in compare na sang tak kha chu ai kan data a reliable arin tla kam ti kha kan share khan ya
chu lai tak chu a compare han ti khan mo data chuan a thalu tu ka chuan ni le in chunga nge pona in datlang puita dro
pona ve kan da room temperature kha kan la lo
chuan hemi weather station a hian ka hre solo chuan building chhong sang te da lo tur open space da lo tur ti te ni ta ka kha in kalpem
a thei angang ha kan te ma free light ideal lang de ha kan
open space lai khan in te selem Acha katlai kha kan lo deal chul deu lai chu ni ta ani lo kha chon result kha dik tak tak thei don lova mine kon da po khu a dik che lo do thu samang che kha ni lo ti chin ka ni building chunga ni wangin kha kha omzia kan soi zau set ani chu a thalu tu ke kan comment du lai chu low cost ti lai kan paisa kha tel si lo ti lai ve ka ni chu a tra chuan e sar krisa soyang deuh khan hemia tuna ron lang angor ngor hi chuan a fulo thein ni develop nge weather station thar chi thar khai ron siam chuak don mo kan ti deuh na oma kha kha ani rolian ni chelo deuh leka khami lai kha film ko ro chu ngai lai chu ni ta chuan I hemi district sang sang ai chuan kan hriat tel tur chu this agriculture department hian district zong zong an da ni DST kha chuan nei lo zo hetlai right up mi karon correct ani chu
thank you sir
lo me
yes sir
Ale voyata to bero diesel tlong pui St. Peter's Higher Secondary School Chingchip kan some.
Good afternoon to you all. My name is Rodizo Zhuangpui and my partner's name is Rem Zhuangpui Thongte. We are the students of class 11 of St. Peter's Higher Secondary School, Chingchip. The name of our project is Eggshell Manure as Soil Acidity Neutralizer. The focal theme is Understanding Ecosystem for Health and Well-being, and the sub-theme is Ecosystem-Based Approach for Self-Reliance. Next slide. The soil of Mizoram is found to be red and lateritic as we can see in this figure. It has a high level of nitrogen and organic carbon percentage, low level of phosphorus, and a high to medium level of potassium. The average pH of Mizoram's soil is found to be 4.1 to 5.9, which is acidic. However, for the growth of plants, the pH value of the soil must range from 6.0 to 7.0, which is almost neutral. And this is one of the main reasons why farmers buy expensive neutralizers and use liming techniques such as quicklime and slake lime in order to neutralize the acidity of the soil. Next slide. The present survey is based upon the soil samples we got from the garden of St. Peter's Convent in Chingchip. And under measurement, we discover that it has a pH value of 5, which is acidic. The objectives of this project is to find a cheap and easily available neutralization method for acidic soil in order to increase crop production to the villagers. In this process, eggshells, which is our waste material in the kitchen, are used. Eggshells are rich in calcium carbonate, which neutralizes the acidity of the soil because it acts as a base, and charcoal, which is another waste material easily available in the village, is also used because it increases the water retaining ability of the soil. This project is eco-friendly and organic and does not produce any byproduct to the environment which can be harmful, like chemicals. Next slide. As we can see here, the acid in the soil reacts with the calcium carbonate in the eggshells to produce calcium salt, carbon dioxide, and water. For example, HCl reacts with calcium carbonate to produce calcium chloride, carbon dioxide, and water. Likewise, sulfuric acid reacts with calcium carbonate to produce calcium sulfate, carbon dioxide, and water. Next slide. Let us see the materials required. Eggshell, charcoal, and garden soil, all in powdered form. Next. Let us see the methodology. In order to create this eggshell manure, the eggshells must be boiled in water for 2 to 3 minutes at the heat of 90 to 100 degrees Celsius to remove the membrane. The reason is to remove the fungus because it can be harmful for the growth of plants. The eggshells are then dried under the sun for 3 to 4 hours, and then they are ground into powder. Similarly, dried charcoal and dried garden soil are ground into powder. Powdered form of garden soil, eggshell, and charcoal are mixed into the ratio of 3:2:1. Next slide. Let us see the observation and data. From experiment 1, when the manure mixture is put in the ratio of 3:1:1, we get the pH value 5, which is acidic. In experiment 2, when the manure mixture is 3:3:1, we get the pH value 8, which is alkaline. And in experiment 3, when we put the ratio as 3:2:1, we get the pH value 7. Next slide. Data analysis and conclusion. The ideal composition of the mixture for our soil sample is 3:2:1 because it gives us a pH value 7, which is neutral and just the right amount of pH level we need for the growth of plant. Next slide. Future plan. From using this extra manure, we have discovered an increase in plant growth, and thus farmers can now take good care of their soil while not spending too much money and having an increase in crop production. This project is very useful because it is cheap and easy to make, and we are using eggshells which in a productive way which would otherwise go to waste. Thank you.
Your name is?
Rodi.
Rodi, yes, Rodi. Have home gardening in Tingayem.
Yes.
So that's one in eggshells a function.
Yes.
Chuan tunakan alo manzia na chansui han shetatro.
Yes.
So what made you decide that the ratio kami different ratios iti quite good? Kami ratio iti takaka what makes you decide to do, like for example 3:1:1 iti ta 3:2:1 tile nge ka han tile lelok 1 oh ti kan itani. So basically you're changing the composition of charcoal. Anyam.
Charcoal le eggshell. Abi kin eggshell ka.
Kumo han tile lelok. Oh
Eggshell like part.
Soil, eggshell and charcoal. Oh, eggshell kiki ka lau char swala ni so okay. So ani le charcoal ki lau sang se lau nyam se danglam na ba ka in ring lau mi ka ti telve lau.
Charcoal ki chu ange ka ni lau ni chu shi achen chu artui cornen chu atang puinan ti shim mi. Charcoal ki chu hey tui ka aritain nem the don awanga kan tel chu kha anya.
Okay.
Achen chu
ani chu plant chu ipun ngei lawa tro. I plant ka chu ipun ngei lawa like ikal pui ngei lo tro kimi ratio le pH kan itop tro.
Oh top.
Chuan okay, it's fine. You really do not need to plant anitani. Chuan atira one comment which I heard, fungus growth can retard the plant growth itita. What makes you say that?
Achen chu fungus hianin plant chang tur hi alo dal china ni. Kami adalo nan kan artui kor ka kan chum tangai ta chon a membrane na kan fungus ka shin ta ni chu kami fungus pe nan kan artui tor tu kan chum.
Oh, artui kora chuan they are pathogenic ani big ta ni mo achan chu kha zinga po kan ngai thla a I ngai thla ve thok ri ngal le la ya enge ni avai bu fai vai da kha favai o chuan I fungus ron chang atita ni kha khan fertility of the soil a shilve ati ni chumo diglo na khom chuang me lo so I am just like hey fungus khan it doesn't not all fungus will retard anita ni chumo ma se eggshell zami kha ani kha chuan hey certain fungus that can retard ang tipo kan hanti lamo like generalized vexu koronti na ni chu fungus zong ang khan. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, miss.
O atoper ni Ivan toy la mi kan zot do jani o ita parameter patum di meyang mase charcoal le soil so itlak mi lo ta inge chan isoi ka entinan atop atang combination tang inei the ni chu entinan 521 te po 531 731 sang sang ilan nei the ni chu chung te chuan thil dang lama thlen angem
adang lam theng tur ber kha chu artui court te zat kha ani wang khan artui court chau kha kan te zat kha kan ti dang lam
achan chumo hey I artui core 587 578 ang anita artui core atam zel khan amaro chu entirnan 531 ten ita se 311 te avate view gem ti te kha riat chu chak omang reng hey nge by just nge intuition lak chon chu tiang chon iru chu ommi te ma se ti ve hrim chu achak omang reng achan chu 311 a 5 ph value nia 321 a 7 ania a chho zel ti chu a chiang reng ani ma se number pakhat chawin hey atang lamani chu chu ta tak chuanin 521 te nita se 721 te lo nita se 5 ph value 5 chau ti anei me lo mo ti vel te kha karil ro mani chu mo a content ta zir khan asan chu pol za tur kha I pui pui ni tro
yes sir
chulai tak chu nge data ti tam tu tan le hey nge a consistency proof tu tan ti le me tha nge ma har lo ang tro pokin soil phe chu hey atamani chu ani to me a thala me in project hi ngai nom ka ti khop me interesting ka ti poka hey in hun la ya in hun lai ti meng zir lai ka ni la ya ka riat chu ngai lo turang chi te tu tun din hun nge zir tir tu kan ni ho po hey kan ngai to me lo tur te in lo so in lo te in lo present ta a ngai nom kan til tu ka ni
thank you sir
in mel po trava in zawain
rodi kan zodu chu kami artui kor kha a that si chung atinge 331 ki that ber le kalo te ki experiment voi khat choi tinge voi hi thum
experiment one hi voi thum ve lang chau kan ti like example that experiment 2 hi voi thum ve so experiment 3 hi voi thum
chona average kai la ta tro
average kan la
artui kong kor kha a thaviu lowem dio ka lo ti na chon chu atom te chon thom tak kha ni chetro atom lu tu khana thalo ti na ni mo
a lei thur zong anga zir khan artui kor khatel turanya a thur vak lawa artui kor kan te chu ai artui kor base kha kan te chu kha chon a chale chong lo ni chu chen du ai khan a alkaline thia lei kha khami wang khan
chon ni le pH value chu itel nuwa I no zel ta tro I test zel ta tro
yes sir
chu ani chuan artui kor tel za chu pH value fiat phota thate ti box khatai kha nge se fiat dan lo mem
pardon me can you repeat
tuna khai soidana kha chuan pH value kha soil pH value kan theta zirin artui kor kha tel za tu ro mi ti ta tro ani em
yes
ani chuan ni pH value kha tai ta khan soi jaw le lok te
lei hemi action manure mang to shim mi chuan lei pH value kha kan shat angai ta ni khami wang khan lei pH kha han test photila khata kan test nu khan a thuran a zir khan artui core hemi action manure kan te zat kha chu abi thla the
pH value kha 7 ani chuan 321 formula I mangang itina a try alo mom hle me ki ting thlap kian la ron ti ngai pok a hello ni kum hasa nge ni kum masar le to ni mai thei tuna miang do hin ron to ma se tuna miang combination ting ve ki an ron te la walo mom khop mai project thata kan ni
thank you sir
tikhan voyentan chuan kan zota project somni pathum anon tan up vek thia alo mom khop mai